嘿，欢迎大家回收看沃芬狮的游戏频道。我们今天礼拜天晚上要来玩 Disco Elysium 极乐迪斯可。那这款游戏已经出好一阵子了，美术风格相当独特，然后游戏评价相当的好，但我自己是还没有花时间玩过，所以算是初体验。那整款游戏的这个评价非常好，但看起来它的制作内容、制作方向应该是不至于像是 ReidWesker 的那种评价是我需要担心的，所以我自己个人是还蛮倾向相信它的评价跟游戏品质哦。那它的宣传语里面就有去讲到说你会是一个怎么样的警察，我也很好奇我们现在来玩会是一个什么样的警察。先开始新游戏，我先检查一下选项好了。可以。繁体中文与繁体中文，我不知道是什么意思，但音量上应该是不需要调整，我没有明显感觉到它的背景音量够大。直播模式，采取直播模式时，部分的版权音乐会被替换成可用于直播的音乐，好吧？不错。希望更多游戏有这样的功能，这太智障了啊！我真的不懂为什么要去使用版权音乐，就是了。来，选择自己的角色形象哦。心理分析负吸引力极度不稳定，可能会失去理智。极度聪明，不擅长交际，知晓有趣的事实，能够提出富创意性的意见，极为健硕，用自己的身体与世界互动，这是什么？干地球。最后可以自创一个角色，我们直接用思想派好了。第一次初体验就这样。有人叫我选肉体，肉个头啦，不要。所以两个语言是说按 Q 跟 L 可以切换，然后有时候翻译有问题的时候，你可以及时切换另外一种语言来看，是吗？
There is nothing, only warm primordial blackness.
爬虫脑。
Your conscious ferments in it, no larger than a single grain of malt. You don't have to do anything anymore. Ever. Never, ever.
简单保持这种不存在的状态。
An inordinate amount of time passes. It is utterly void of struggle. No ex-wives are contained within it.
再多来一些。
An awareness creeps up on you. A mass lies hidden in your dead angle, soaking in some lurid acidic sauce. It's bloated and shameful, a ball of meat surrounding you. This is a terrible line of questioning, and it will only lead to more awareness of the meat thing.
不，我就是想知道。
Ex-love, ex-tenderness. It is foolish of you to resurface to the loss. Not after all the damage you suffered to get here. Some of it irreversible. Stay, sail with me through the abyss of pelagic zone. Do you really?
他不会有那种一开始选就让你嗝屁的选项吗？
You wouldn't like it if I told you what was back there. Why Did you think you had to bludgeon yourself into oblivion? Or did you not sense yourself marinating? Poured so much on yourself, got a bit carried away, did we, Chef? Yes, your one disco mother. There's this giant ball there, and evil apes. And the evil apes are juking it out on the ball. You're one of them. It's basically all just evil apes juking it out.
那个球有多大？这些星星有多小？
You can't even make out it's a ball when you're juking it out. It's that large. Infinitesimally small. Vying for resources is just a stupid expression you picked up somewhere. The part of the presentation you want to take home with you is this. You have to beat the other evil apes in the face, or you lose.
听起来就像是我会喜欢做的事。我们走吧。
Somewhere in the saw, bloated man meet around you. A sensation. Like a fly to the ointment, your conscience sticks to it. The limbed and headed machine of pain and undignified suffering is firing up again. It wants to walk the desert, hurting, longing, dancing to disco music.
还可以反悔啊！
The stench of liquor rises from your mouth, and with it, an ungodly headache. A fiery streak penetrates your skull, trying to force your eyes open. It's a sound, a clarion call from hell.
Somehow, you know what it is. A Caprice Canema motor carriage.
我不知道为什么认得一台汽车需要博学多闻。这是全裸的状态吗？靠你！为什么什么都脱光了，就是没脱袜子？这脸是怎样？特大容量的红准酱酒瓶被我们灌空了。空的录音带盒子。裤子、帽子、颈部、眼镜、手套、鞋子，右手，这可以拿在手上吗？不行，左手。按住 Tab 键，所以 Tab 可以看到所有可以互动的东西。他自己会穿裤子吗？
The window stands broken in its frame. Cold wind blows in.
92%成功率检查，评估受损状况。
The shards face outward. Whatever broke this window came from the inside.
我自己砸的吗？
A fine web of scarring covers the back of your right hand, but none of it is recent.
所以不是最近自己砸的。
More likely a projectile than a held object. There are no fragments on the floor from pulling a tool back in after impact.
所以是投掷出去的，所以外面可能有。
It is too large for a bullet, yet too small for a piece of furniture. You're looking for something heavy and larger than your fist.
砖头之类的。
Like the green shoe that's on the hat rack in the corner, which, coincidentally, is missing its friend. Congratulations, you smashed the window with your own shoe. Now you only have one. If you're lucky, you can still find the other on the balcony outside.
也许不是我丢的。
Be outside your room. You mean someone else took your shoe off and smashed the window with it? This person also forced the drinks on you. A cool wind gushes in. Your toes curl up from the cold.
OK， 穿衣服，你这智障！这可以关掉吗？上面好像挂着我的领带之类的。
This fan has two chain pull switches. One ends in a tiny fan, the other in a light bulb. A truly horrific necktie has somehow attached itself to one of the blades.
哦，这是一个白色检定，必定就是可以不断的重复尝试，所以58%失败也不会怎样。
You swoop up and catch the tie.
成功了。
Snap. It's released from the blade.
真是灵敏啊！
What you have in your hand is a truly hideous necktie with 4 or 5 different patterns. The knot reminds you of a noose. A terrible mistake. Turn the lights off immediately. You can practically feel the photons burning a hole in your brain.
放马过来吧！
Your eyes burn with
干！
photosensitivity. It's not good.
屁啊！谁被光照死啊？这什么狗屁啊！
The blades come squeaking to a halt.
哎，灯泡扣了我一半的血，我只是开灯而已，就可以扣自己一半的血，靠！耶，太棒了！穿这么好，丝绸衬衫。
A mirror hangs above a bent and broken sink. In a fierce discharge of masculine energy, someone has ripped half the faucet off. Was this not the same Elo that founds empires and lays waste to cities, virile, uncaring towards the little things?
Yeah， 很会说服自己耶。
Probably not, no. Hot water sprays from the faucet's base, and steam covers the mirror. You cannot see yourself, just the vague impression of a man. Suddenly, you realize you have no memory of the face that awaits you there, underneath the soft vapor. As you slowly reach your hand towards the surface of the mirror. Abort, you clearly have not thought this through. You won't like what you see there, and you will never unbecome it.
靠！我光看镜子跟开灯泡就把自己看死了。
Behold. You have no idea who this thing is, do you?
哦，是个超级巨星。
It appears you're also dead. There's clearly rigor mortis on your face. Oh wait, is that an expression? Are you trying to make an expression with that face? Why?
可能因为我是个超级巨星。
Please stop. It's horrible. You're scaring yourself.
不，超级巨星就是要这么做。
You can't, can you? It's like it's not even voluntary anymore. You have worn that grin into your face, and now it won't come off. What does it even mean? What is the emotion you're trying to convey?
超级巨星。
You should check yourself for a pulse, superstar. From here it looks like a cadaverous spasm. You find no sign of life on your swollen neck. However, putting your hand on your chest reveals an irregular heartbeat. You appear to be alive.
不规则的心跳。食髓知味毫无可能成功，尝试阻止自己的表情的出现。没有。
It belongs in the new, the third decade of the current century. Enough time had passed from the failure of the revolution that, for a fleeting moment, free market economy seemed like the ultimate, uncontested way of life for our species. Things were good. It was smooth sailing. People made gold and champagne-tinted interiors and facades to suit the times, calling this the new style. But more importantly, disco happened. For Revachol, your city, that meant only one thing. Guillaume la Million. If it doesn't rhyme, you're not pronouncing it right. Out of the dazzling swirl of disco music, in an open-air boîte de nuit somewhere in Revachol West, Guillaume's blonde mane appeared on the screen. He sang some bullshit. Then he made the expression. Everyone loved it. Maybe you thought some of the stardust would rub off on you. Maybe it did. Either way, it's all gone now. Only the grimace remains. Some 20-odd years. There is a vast ocean of time between right now and the expression. Looking good on you, or anyone. Humanity has run aground in that time. It's a different world now. The expression is a relic. You have some understanding of the near history of disco. The rest is darkness, aside from the useless fact that the motor carriage outside was a caprice canema. The click is used to spur on a horse. It also features heavily in Guillaume le Million's regional mega hit, Don't Worry Your Pretty Little Head. It doesn't have to be. You can swoon over Guillaume and his champagne-corked smile whenever you want to. Maybe some of the stardust will return.
先不管面子镜子了，这插头是怎么回事？暂时研究价值减一，逻辑思维胡思乱想。只解锁了这一条，这是锁住的意思吗？穿上唯一的一只鞋。从里面锁上了，不对吧？那你把钥匙丢哪了？目前未持有任何钥匙。哦，所以这个原来是他有感知到的东西，我要点这个黄色泡泡才可以看到。
You hear a jingle. Keys are clinking in the pocket of your flare-cut pants. It says whirling in rags.
不错的教学，因为你需要理解蛮多机制之后，才能够离开这个最初的区域。
The whirling in rags is a hostel cafeteria on the urban coast, frequented by dock workers.
1号房的钥匙，走。我的之前任务是找到另一只鞋，真好。哇！一开门瞬间就醒了，很会装哎。
Hello, officer.
The young woman raises a cigarette to her lips. Her eyes are brown and her face is speckled with birthmarks. She can't be more than 28. A silver jumpsuit falls off her like scale armor, sparkling. This is the sparkle of too many nights out on the city.
我不是警官吗 ？Officer.
No. Because you're a police officer, sir. I am, yes. Unless you've been feeding us a set of very well-rehearsed lies all this time. You've been here for 3 days. On official police business, no less. I couldn't say. In truth, so far, mostly drinking.
You have no doubt about the drinking. But do you strike yourself as a tight-lipped drunk? She must have heard something.
非常低。对他试试那个表情，这成功率，这成功率根本悲剧。
Could it be because of the drinking?
She hasn't had time to put her makeup on. This is her morning cigarette. She looks tired. Her beauty waning faster than it ought to at her age.
Don't be so harsh on yourself. They let almost anyone be a police officer.
什么人都可以当警官，靠背。
She nods.
There's a mercenary out back. He's been hanged. The body has been there for a week now. The locals probably got tired of it and called the cops. I didn't mean to overwhelm you with information. You seem a bit lost, officer.
OK， 有人想要尝试这3%的吗？虽然说我不知道会不会有什么危险、非常不良的后果，但是3%听起来很大便呢。可以 SL， 如果不嫌麻烦的话，有谁想要在这边 SL 到3%成功呢？
Of course. Be careful,
3%
officer.
太低了。
They don't like the police around here.
OK， 再见。
Something stirs in you as she's about to go. Call it an instinct, a need. The need to ask
快速
questions.
反应
It's like you said the words a
啊，
million
反应
times
速度。
before.
然后
She looks back at you, a light glinting off her eyes.
Yes. There was the usual ruckus. Loud disco music. I couldn't say. It's impossible to hear people speaking from over here. Yeah. The dock workers are pretty cocky. They think they're police enough. At least here on the coast. I can't say about the rest of the city.
所以到他走之前，我们才反应过来，问了一些有用一点的资讯。靠，
You're in a hostel, sir. We are in Revachol.
Revachol is the disgraced former capital of the world, divided into zones of control under foreign occupation. Half a century after a failed world revolution, she is central to our moment in time.
You sure look like you're from Revachol. Revachol parties.
Her accent suggests She is not from around here. She's from Aranye, another part of the world.
It's 51. The current century? Centuries don't have numbers, they have names. And this is the current one. Civilization has existed for 8,000 years, sir. You're right. There is nothing funny about civilization. Glad to have been of assistance.
检查，留下很长的烟蒂，就是没有抽完的意思。还可以去骚扰他。
The door is closed. This door can only be opened with a key or from.
世界号角。
Hello there.
The door is closed. There is no answer. You hear the shower.
在洗澡。资金短缺，带上塑胶袋收集空瓶，然后拿到福利多卖。真小了，我们还要捡破烂哦。等一下，那是真的鸟还是？
You should totally sing karaoke here. The first chance you get.
真小了。
Emotions need to be expressed. People need to know your vast oceanic soul.
我的灵魂无边无际，放弃思维又是三小。
Utterly. And it needs to be heard.
靠背，你到底是不是来办案呢？
Through a PA system. By other people. Who is mistakenly identified as a cop for his prominent jawline? Yes, sounds likely. You should probably go on stage and pose for a moment when you're done with this thought. You should sing the sad small church song from that tape you found. Thought it was obvious. Serves them right. Wipe that smirk off their face with your... You would need another copy of the tape first, though.
或者任务唱卡拉 OK。等一下，我的鞋嘞？我丢出去的鞋嘞？我先上去看一下相对位置啊。虽然整个丢到旅馆外面去了吗？这里可以去阳台。桌子上有什么东西？钱全部拿走。海水的气味让你有些头晕。啊，我找到我的鞋了。
There they both are. Two identical shoes. Both copiously green and indiscriminately snakeskin. Reunited on your feet. Like two baby crocodiles.
这看起来好像不像是普通警察会穿的鞋子。
It's pretty clear a normal cop is not what you are. Good, they're balanced, comfy. Feels like the only good thing about you right now.
靠！我怎么回血啊？ 我只是开个灯而已，就扣了一半的血。Shift 的话可以跑步，它好像我点远一点的地方，它会自己跑步，用滑鼠操作的时候，所以要用键盘才可以强迫它跑。啊，没有，点2下就可以了，点2下就可以叫它跑步。现在是警察在公费旅游吗？我不知道，这一款游戏看起来嗑药嗑蛮凶的。
A man in his late 20s stands behind the counter, inspecting a stuffed seabird. As you approach, he gives you a sideways glance, then looks down again. Everything is cool between you and this guy. He's a big
Shit.
fan. Make some small talk.
通情达理失败。
A competent work of taxidermy. The white and brown seabird lies among piles of coasters and drying mugs. One of its wings broken. The man is trying to mend it. Looks like the bird was ripped off the shield that was used to mount it, most likely on a wall. This is the great skua. The seabird is the symbol for the discovery of the Insulindian Isola, the part of the world you are in right now. The small steel tag says as much. The great skua, Stegoarius skua.
Look, your buddy is over there. Why don't you go and talk to him, okay?
He pretends not to hear you, concentrating on the bird instead.
No, I'm not the bartender. I'm the cafeteria manager.
He's very animated all of a sudden. This seems like a touchy subject.
看起来很像酒保，有什么区别吗？不要当个G8人了。鼻通灵加1生命值，所以我们眼睛被光线灼伤，反而是对鼻子里面打药剂就好了。榨汁机的声音，罢工海报，红色三角旗。包厢被工会成员预约，下午4点。
Hello, sweetie. You shouldn't keep your colleague waiting.
嗯哼，我就是要让他等。
A bespectacled man in an orange bomber jacket is tapping his foot on the floor. Looks like he's waiting for someone. You. As you approach, he narrows his eyes and extends his hand in greeting. On the sleeve of his bomber jacket, as well as on its back, are the same enigmatic white rectangles as on your blazer.
啊？神秘白色矩形。
Hello, I'm Kim Kitsuragi, Lieutenant, Precinct 57. You must be from the 41st.
You realize he's waiting for your name.
直接编一个名字。
Concentration makes you squint your eyes. Your name should be deep gold and orange, like a forest fire.
名字还有颜色。
But mixed with the stench of liquor rising from your breath. You're 2 steps closer to it, but there are still many to go.
我不记得自己的名字了。
Okay then. It looks like we had a little scheduling error on Sunday. Saturday too, actually. Have you had time to talk to the manager here?
What he means is, He has been trying to meet up with you for 2 days, but you have been otherwise occupied.
If you don't mind, we should talk to him again. Ask him for a rundown of the area. Now that I'm here as well. I
所以
understand he's in his
他没来之前，我们自己是问不出什么有用的讯息的。
It also wouldn't hurt to assure him the police are finally here. In full force, I mean. Have you mapped out the initial interviews? At the 57th, we like to prepare an initial list of persons of interest, and then just skim the surface. Prepare the field, get to know the players. You don't do that? Maybe it's okay. We'll have time for that after we take a look at the coroner's case. Have you removed the dead body from the tree? So, the body is still in the tree.
好几天呢。
Where it has been hanging for 7 days straight. We should go there as soon as we are done talking to the owner. I can see you drank last night and the night before, and that you are still drunk now. But I have seen officers go through worse.
还看过比这还糟的，靠北。
If you need something for your headache, there is a general store nearby. But as I said, the dead body should be our #1 concern. After you, officer.
If you're about to embark on an investigation, shouldn't you have a badge?
You mean you don't have a badge? Losing your identification card is a serious matter. My vehicle has a shortwave. You can use it to report your badge missing. I advise you to try to locate it as quickly as possible, but getting the body down should still take precedence.
我还要去唱卡拉 OK 嘞 ，What the fuck？ 要求上台表演。
A colorful piece of plastic is dangling from his carabiner. Makes your fingers itch.
What?
On the counter, rolled out of his open hand, you see a blister pack of headache medicine. It's a dock worker's ID, doubling as a shift card and a job permit. A young, able-bodied man stares back at you from the photo. Santiago S. John. The man does not mind. You probably need them more than he does. Your fingers find their way into the shackle, flicking open its spring-loaded gate. The metal loop holds the plastic ID.
醒来第一件事情在偷人家的药丸，偷人家的身份证。而且，上面还有他的皮包，靠！
The man emits a loud snore. Is he about to wake up? Doesn't look like it, but you never know. Better be quick. You find a black paper note with a woman's profile on it. Seems like this woman lived centuries ago. The note says 5 real. It feels nice and greasy. You slip the plastic ID card out of the loop and pocket it. The man continues to snore. Just for the record, you look nothing like the man on the document. The sleeping dock worker has little to say about your actions. He remains silent.
No idea. Looks like he works for Wild Pines, the logistics company who owns and operates the harbor. Possibly because there's a strike going on in the harbor. There's not much to do aside from drinking and sleeping.
There is only
Oh.
one way to
Oh.
wake this bone idol from his slumber. Roar like a hurricane. Rip the buildings from the earth.
发出一声原始的尖叫是三小啊！
Why the yelling, man?
Looks like a Sao descendant. A lot of Sao dock workers around.
Wait, what? I was just sleeping. What do you want, officer?
They got it. Mazeret's got it. He's
侧
got
卢
it.
先生，
Or just getting some sleep. Or was.
We are the workers, the union. Okay, I guess there's also Everard. He's in charge of the union. He's smart, knows how to negotiate. He's got our back. Indeed. Help yourself to some. Wait, no. Oh, it's empty. Sorry about that, pal. That's the name of my employer. I work in logistics.
How's it going? Haven't you noticed what's going on outside? Dude, we're in the middle of a strike, don't for one. I could use some more shut-eye in the mornings. Right to work,
工作权。
right to sleep, I say.
Yeah, what about it?
你们树上经常挂尸体吗？
You know, people die here every day. Someone's found in a ditch, another one falls in a manhole, a third one gets eaten by stray dogs. If someone has decided to
有
die
人
on
决定
top
死
of
在
a
树上
tree,。then how is it my concern? I can tell you this. Trouble's ahead. You heard what I said. Draw your own conclusions. That's all I know.
The lieutenant gives you a little nod, then makes a note in his blue notebook.
Thank God, no.
The worker stares at you, his eyes dry from sleep. A web of wrinkles covers.
I don't know what you're talking about, kind sir. But when I'm out, then I'm really out.
The dock worker doesn't answer. His head is already back.
OK。夏季通行，冬季不开门。那接下来应该就只剩下询问经理了。我们再跟老太太讲一下话。
Hello again, sweetie.
The lieutenant nods politely. Wait, who's Sweetie?
Why, you are, officer. You're a handsome man, officer, with your mustache and your chiseled jaw and that silly dimple on your chin.
认真的吗？这张脸？
Take heart, officer. You're still a man in your prime. You must forgive me. I'm getting so scatterbrained. I completely forgot to introduce myself. I'm Lena. My husband Morel and I are staying with our friend Gary just down the street, but I come here for tea when they're away.
This Lena is wacky enough for the motley crew. Hire her on the spot.
三小，聘用他。
Whatever do you mean? Sequence killers? Oh my.
A partner who needs you to help him get a corpse down from a tree. I can assure you with absolute certainty, there are no sequence killings taking place in Martinez.
Now, gentlemen, no need to squabble. I wouldn't be of much use to you anyway, sweetie. Thank you, but Martinez isn't the most wheelchair-accessible place, you see. I'd slow you down.
莫名其妙去招呼一个坐轮椅的老太太，三小了。
Perhaps another time. Yes, dear. I'm a paraplegic.
A paraplegic is someone with limited or no ability to use the lower half of their body. Paraplegia is caused by spinal cord injuries, like falling from a great height.
为什么有这种都超强的问话选项？
That's quite all right. I'm used to people asking questions. I know they're thinking about it anyway.
啊，老太太是手榴弹造成的吗？屁啊！
Yes, officer. You look rather dazed. Like a stunned fox. But surely things can't be that bad. Oh my. You know where we are, right? That's right. And where is the Whirling in Rags cafeteria itself located? Yes, indeed. We are in the fine city of Revachol. Yes, great. See? We're getting somewhere. What else do you know about our city of splendor? Pack the new. Disco dancing. It seems like a lifetime ago. Much has changed, but it is still the most beautiful city in the world. A rare jewel set in the sand between the pines. Everyone says so, even foreigners. Speaking of history, you know what year it is, yes? That's right, dear. How splendid. Here, take this pen. Knowledge should always be rewarded.
哇哦，原来正确回答是有奖励的，还好我刚才没有屈服于他的奇怪选项，直接乱选了。
Her relief is palpable. She was getting pretty worried about you there, but now she relaxes her shoulders.
I can tell that this is taxing for you, so I'll just ask one more question. What regime are we living under? What mode of government?
啊 ，shit， 我完全不知道哎。他没有提到，但这个什么勇猛的战士骑着战马，这吃大便啊，智慧型机械这个也是啊，其实我不太确定哎。我们在警察政权之下，无线电波控制了人们的思想，真正的主人其实是外国人和女人。很明显不是什么警察国度啊，治安这么差，对不对？
Oh, sweetie. It's really not. There used to be people who thought that way. Other people who wanted those things, but they all went extinct. Revachol is a zone of control led by an alliance of foreign powers called the Coalition. We have almost no government of our own, and certainly no dictatorship of the proletariat.
But they still have cops.
Oh dear. And you were doing so well. There aren't any cops in Revachol, not in the traditional sense. The Status of law enforcement has been a complicated matter since the revolution. But we should stop for today, sweetie. You look like you need a break. Besides, I'm not the best person to explain the big things to anyone.
She's scared now. She's realized you really are brain damaged.
他知道我的大脑真的受损了。
A defeat, I'm afraid. The people of this archipelago tried to build something new, something different. The rest of the world didn't like it, so they came and ended it. This was 42 years ago. It has something to do with everything. I really don't know how to explain it better. You were doing quite well up until the end there. It does look like you're having trouble remembering things. History and places. Remembering reality in a word. It's very odd.
可以跟搭档讲话啊。
A sigh. The lieutenant buries his nose in his notebook.
什么啦？你又要记录我脑袋受损是不是？靠！
But maybe a fresh set of eyes is what the world needs. And while I'm no doctor, such bouts of amnesia are often temporary, so I wouldn't worry too much.
过度担心。
Someone more educated in sweeping matters.
Yeah, 要我问警察。
Maybe you should ask.
No.
No.
I'm not an encyclopedia. I won't be a guide either. I'm a detective.
Of course. Then I don't know. Someone rich, maybe? Wealthy people are educated. Though.
That's a good point. This doesn't look like Rich Central.
Of course, dear. Good luck with your case.
刚才一个脑袋受损的家伙尝试招募坐轮椅的老太太加入他们的调查队。
Yes?
Yes.
No response. He just arches his brow. He's having trouble processing it, believing it even.
Have you tried concentrating on something other than your personal affairs? Fine. We should get through this day first. Off hours begin at 9 p.m. If you're still having trouble then, I can give you an orientation.
哎呦，
Try work, the case at hand. It can work miracles. Not a fan. It's just the nature of lieutenancy.
The RCM deploys a self-styled structure called the décomptage as its chain of command. Every lieutenant is responsible for 2 sergeants and 8 officers. That means the average lieutenant has to deal with quite a few personal affairs. Even you know this.
Really? You look fine to me. This psychodrama is unbecoming of an officer.
Clearly, he prefers to think you're malingering. He cannot fathom that anyone could drink so much as to retroactively erase their entire
很难相信有人可以喝酒喝到把自己整个人生都抹去。
Then you should consider seeking medical attention. You can use the radio in my kinema to call your station's Lazareth. Was there anything else you wanted? What do you want to know? Maybe you can tell me what you do know to help me narrow it down a bit. Then you are not that far behind, actually. Do you want me to brief you? 3 days ago, the RCM Emergencies Desk received a report about a security guard who was found hanged in Martinez. An anonymous caller said there was a dead body behind the Whirling in Rags hostel cafeteria. The cadaver had been there for 4 days. No one had come to investigate.
所以他已经挂在那里4天，然后我们来了之后又在这里喝了3天，所以已经凑足1个礼拜了。
During that time, the victim had been stripped of his belongings. The caller did not identify him, but used the word lynching There is an ongoing labor dispute between the local dock workers and the logistics company Wild Pines. I was told we should approach the death as part of this dispute. A security guard or worker of some sort hired by Wild Pines. This was just hearsay from Martinez, of course. We need to find out the truth. To find him or her is one of our tasks here. For now, all we know is that the tone was muffled using a device of some sort. The desk could identify neither the caller's age nor sex. There's a strong prejudice against involving the RCM in what's seen as union matters. The dock workers' union is the de facto police in Martinez. Now it appears they've started executing too. We cannot allow that. That's us, the Revachol Citizens Militia. We're the police in this city.
公民武装
The RCM, or the Revachol Citizen Militia, is the police force you and him are part of. A self-organized peace corps of the occupied city of
怎么
Revachol.
会招募到这种人
The
呢？
RCM operates within a legal twilight, yet its authority is rarely questioned. It's super useful to know this.
很少受到质疑，是怎么办到的？
Just to be clear, we are police officers. It's our job to find the killer. That's the case. Uncover and arrest the killer. I'm afraid you and I are pawns in a pissing competition. You don't know? I assumed you were in on it. That's good. Better still than an imbecilic cop-off. It's just stupidity. We shouldn't waste any more time on it. If you want my take,
警
ask me
察的
after
地
we've
盘真
inspected
多
the。victim. Later, was there anything else you wanted to know about the case? No, it's not a particularly mysterious case. The deceased is a security guard for a corporation involved in a labor dispute. It doesn't take a DeLorean polymath to put the pieces together. I just don't see the case getting more mysterious than that. I can assure nothing like that will happen. Do you know why not? No, something isn't happening, because it's not part of reality.
The gesture resembles an orchestra conductor bringing the choir to a full stop. So desperately mundane. You need to funk this case up.
靠腰，
There's something the lieutenant isn't seeing. The universe is too irrational, too morally complex. You should convince him.
No, it's not a particular...
The lieutenant adjusts his collar.
You mean like a brief? There's no reason to. 3 days ago, the RCM emergency. During that time, the victim had
太
been
酷了，我
stripped
听够
of
了
his。belongings. Okay then. Was there any good?
说服金这起案件里面隐藏着一个性感又黑暗的神秘转折。真小啦，而且这个可以一直重复尝试，是什么狗屁啊？
Me? I don't see how my life is pertinent to the investigation. That's a fair point. All right, for the good of the investigation, what do you want to know? What do you mean? I have no idea what you're talking about.
The lieutenant's conceptualization skills must be rather rudimentary.
I can't say that it does, no. When I need to think, I just use my notebook.
The lieutenant produces his small blue notebook and idly thumbs through a few pages. We all have our different mediums. His is written.
That's correct.
You feel a slight urge to put the lieutenant down.
身强体健传奇难度失败。靠腰。为什么每次？这是某种要霸凌饰演田鸡的原始冲动是吗？你只要身强体健到强身健体到一定的程度，就想要不由自主的去霸凌饰演田鸡。
Are they? They are mostly just cumbersome. That's because I'm half Seolite, or quarter. My father's father was from Seoul. So was my grandmother, but from my mother's side. It's a part of the world, officer. A geopolitical entity, and a geographic division. I told you it wouldn't be interesting.
Seoul is a protectionist, isolationist, pan-Isolari state west of the Insulindian Isola. Actually, it's quite interesting. Some would even say mysterious.
You're barking up the wrong tree. I don't speak a word of Seolite. I've never met either one of my grandparents, and I've never been to Seoul. I'm a regular Revacholière.
A point of pride to him.
No.
Your brain sends the signal to your lips, but they refuse the order. Something is paralyzing them. You're pretty sure it has something to do with the lieutenant's eyebrow. It's like you're locked down.
我想要再问他一次，被他的眉毛封印了。
Something the matter, detective?
What's going on? It's like you're a puppet in his hands.
继续。
The lieutenant relaxes his eyebrow, and you seem to regain control of yourself.
好强的眉毛啊！
Good. Let's change the subject.
Only banal things strike you. At the core, you're a very banal person with a very small soul.
哎，说好的无限从事哎。
Despair creeps into you, getting fat on your weakness. Whatever noble intentions you once had,
我的心智会不会太脆弱了一点？
eating them
靠
all up now. You're still coming up with sentences. That's a step up from total annihilation, right?
我不看了，去你妈的！
I don't dispute that you have been charged with protecting the people of a particularly challenging district. But poverty does not make one a loser. Poverty is just poverty.
贫穷不会让人变成 loser， 贫穷就只是贫穷而已。
Nothing you can say would make you feel any better now. Cop gives up the detective genre for social realism. Another police officer resigns from the RCM following a nervous breakdown. He now lives under a
超级玻璃心哎！你只是没办法说服他而已，你就直接士气崩溃是
I
三
never
小。
loved that woman. When asked to comment, former colleagues objected to the theory that his psychological disintegration was precipitated by his wife leaving him. It's because the Furrows lost that match, said Captain Ptolemy Price, once the man's superior officer. It's because he couldn't get a big gun from acquisitions, and anyway, police work really burns you out after a while. Satellite officer Jean-Vic Mayer, the deranged former cop's partner, commented. Sergeant Matt Torson, another former colleague, did not propose any theories, merely saying, whatever happened to him wasn't about birds. He got fucked, that's all.
干！怎么有办法？怎么有办法说服自己的搭档失败就直接死亡呢？靠！ 这士气真的比哥布林还低啊！天哪！我全部要重来哎！靠！因为说服搭档是一件这么危险的事情。
A bespectacled man in an as you approach on the sleeve of his bonnet.
Hello.
You realize he's waiting for your name. Raphael Ambrosius Cousteau.
我失败了，还反而会，而且这大失败耶，靠！
Yes, it is. Raphael Ambrosius.
Yes, well.
Not for a moment does he believe that's your real name. He casts it aside as an intra-departmental joke.
It looks like we had a little...
What he means is, he has been trying to meet up with you for 2 days, but you have been other...
If you don't mind, we should talk to... It also wouldn't hurt to assure him the police are finally here. In full force, I mean. At the 57th, we like to prepare an initial list of persons of interest. Okay, have you removed the dead... So, where it has been hanging for 7 days, we all feel that way.
And then, soon after, dead bodies would be dangling from all...
But first, we have to take it down. I was sent here to meet... I suppose you could be impersonating him. You could have got...
Inspectorate General means internal affairs.
内奸小队
is he's not from the rat squad and isn't supposed to suspect such things.
No need for derogatory terms. They're only doing their job. Yes. They're not just white rectangles. They bear a halogen watermark with the letters RCM and a pattern resembling the street grid of Revachol West. I would ask you to step into the headlights of my motor carriage, but again, it's none of my concern. I just need you to do... You mean you don't have a badge? Losing your identification card is a serious... I can see you drink. If you need something for your headache, there is a general store nearby. Talk to the manager. After you,
The theme on that pinball machine is a standard royalist theme.
哎，我上次没有这个弹珠台的多文选项。
Full flavor, clinging to a picture book version of the past century, waiting for the king to come back and cast out all the profiteers and homosexuals. Basically, imagine a yellow plastic crown with a liquor brand emblazoned on it. It comes free with a six-pack of vermilion. The sentiment is called anti...
Hello.
Wait, who's Sweetie?
Why, you are, officer. You're a handsome man, officer, with your mustache and your chiseled jaw. Take heart. You must I'm Lena.
This Lena is wacky enough for...
Yes, dear.
A paraplegic is someone...
No, dear. I'm not quite that old. Although I was injured in the line of duty. Nothing so extravagant, dear. Though what young girl, I was a training and development manager at a rapidly expanding mail order. You'd think it would be a safe job, but I had to be everywhere. And, well, once I happened to be under some faulty scaffolding.
摔断腿。
I was lucky. This was almost 20 years ago. That's quite all right. I'm used to people asking questions. Whatever do you mean? Sequence killers?
A partner who needs you to help him get a corpse down from a tree. I can assure you, with
Now, gentlemen, no, thank you, but perhaps another time. Yes, officer. You look rather dazed. Oh, my. That's right. Yes, indeed. We are in the fine... Yes, great. See, the new. Much has changed. Speaking of history, you know what year it is. That's right, dear.
Her relief is palpable.
I can tell
善良猿人原子笔
for you, so I'll just ask one more question. What regime are we living under? What mode of government? Oh, no. Nothing like that, dear. Revachol is a zone of control. Oh, dear. But we should stop...
She's scared now. She's realized you really...
A defeat, I'm afraid. It has something to do with everything. You were doing quite well.
A sigh.
But maybe a fresh set of eyes. Someone more...
No.
Of course.
That's a good point.
Of course, D.
直接就拒绝，真的是好不容易赶回刚才的进度。
That sugary black rum stain on the counter makes you teary-eyed with joy. It's almost touching how syrupy and sticky it is.
喝酒的时间到了。
Have you been up already? Attaboy. It's coming back to him.
靠背
You had your mesolimbic reward pathway worried there, not thinking about drinking all that time. It was like you weren't yourself. There he is, the old boy that
甜甜不甜，甜但是甜一点点。
by licking that stain off the counter. Do it.
三说
Wild. Calmly, the lieutenant looks out of the window, then to you, licking the tasty rum stain off the counter, then out of the window again.
干我不会甜一甜，这就死掉了。
What are you doing?
我在调查。
We should move.
You could definitely go for some more. The titillating scent of alcohol in your nostrils.
靠背啊！看我们要存档了，还有太多奇奇怪怪的死法了。
A colourful piece of on the counter rolled out of his open hand. The man does not mind. It's a dock worker's ID, doubling as a shift card and a job permit. You fumble with the spring loaded like fucking sleigh bells.
Stop finger fucking him, officer! I'm fine.
To be honest,
It was just an idea.
居然是经理过来阻止我们。 连打翻在柜台上的酒都要舔，这个太可怕了。
A colourful on the counter rolled out of the man does not mind. It's a dock worker's ID, doubling as a shift card and a job. You fumble with
哎，有这么难吗？
like fucking
我发现我第一次的进度真的
What are you
是
doing? You're
超成功
gonna
的
get。caught.
Stop finger fucking him, officer! I'm responsible for these robes and their stuff. Even Sleepy there. Yes, sure.
to be honest, he's correct. Police officers generally
It was just an idea. Come on, relax, everyone.
占用一下不会怎么样哦。我只是想回到我的第一次进度而已。虽然说多舔了一点酒，但至少剩下的剧情走的是差不多的。
Colourful peep on the counter wrote, "The man does not mind. You probably need it's a dock worker's ID." Now, your fingers
Yes.
find their way into the man emits a laugh. You find a black paper note. You slip the plastic just for the record. The sleeping dock worker has little to say about your actions. You gently shake his shoulder, but nothing happens. This man,
no idea. Possibly because there's a
叫不起来了。
the worker, is in a deep slumber.
所以白色检定要有点技能才能够重复执行。这可以干嘛？该不会是只拿来卖钱的吧？后门直接就可以互动了，这不知道啥。看来应该是在后面的房间，只是现在黑色的部分遮住而已。来，
The man with the unimpressive beard notices you approaching. He drops the ledger he was holding and turns to the lieutenant.
Mr. Guard, right? You run.
Yes.
I am Kim Kitsuragi from Precinct 57. This is an inter-district investigation, so joining me from Precinct 41.
毁灭先驱。
What? What is this? A joke to you? Is this what you get when you call the police now? This guy? We've been waiting for a week here.
Sir, I understand your concern, but we are here to do the job. And for us to do it, I need you to stay calm.
Yes, of course.
I know it took us a while to arrive at the scene, but it also took you a while to call us. It was you who placed the call, correct?
都有用，但也都可以卖。我应该不会随便卖啊。如果真的缺钱再说。
No, I only just got here. It was probably Sylvie who called you. She usually works the bar here. I'm only temporarily taking over her duties.
Do you have her number?
As a matter of fact, I do.
This sounds like something you can use to call this Sylvie later.
You said you just got here. From where? Are you a local?
What, of Martinez? No, I live in Jamrock. I only sometimes come here to keep an eye on the place. This is just one of the many cafeterias I manage.
But you still know your way around, yes? In case we need directions.
Yes, I know where some things are, but as I said, I don't live here. I just used to work here. And I'm not going to start working here again, if that's what you think.
I didn't imply that. Detective.
He probably means this is where you step in and ask your questions. His face expresses profound doubt in you. Ask him about the body's location before asking if he killed him. People give up information in the more innocuous question, which you can later use in the more sinister ones, not vice versa.
Behind this building, there's a courtyard. They hoisted him up on a tree there. That's easy. See that door there? First you exit through that. Then to your right, you should see a big hole in the fence. A really big one. You can get to the courtyard through there. No need for the keys. The hole is big enough for the Franco-Nigerian cavalry to fit through.
This man means the heavy cavalry of the innocents Franco-Negro, sweeping over the plains and nations of the enemies of mankind. 5th century style. Unified currency and the concept of cool came in their wake. They wore lamella and carried guns. But first and foremost, Franco-Nigerian heavy cavalry was really wide. That hole in the fence must be enormous.
I don't know who killed him. I'm not the police. That's your job.
This is it. He said they hoisted him up on a tree. Who is this they, if he doesn't know?
Oh, people are saying it was the union dock workers, that it was a lynching. The locals, the customers, the people who eat here, a lot of dock workers eat here. Sylvie told me everyone knows the dock workers did it.
Did the debarders themselves tell her this, or is it a rumor?
I don't really know. You'll have to ask her. I would suppose it's because they have nothing better to do.
You mean the strike?
Yes, the strike. The man they hanged was a security guard for the harbor company, I hear. A mercenary. The unionistas probably thought they'd send a message. What are you, crazy? Of course I didn't kill him.
The lieutenant turns the page in the little notebook he's been scribbling in.
She went away because none of your business.
Have they not been telling you you're a cop?
它跟即将到来的世界末日有关。
Okay, you got me. She went away because of the dead body out back. And because I asked for her number. That's why Sylvie went away. I hope you appreciate that.
Thank you.
他跟他要了电话就离开了。我不知道这是不是被经理骚扰的意思。
Is it? Because I thought you were supposed to be investigating the lynching, not my employer conduct.
我是个女权主义者。
What?
狂热女权主义者，你耳朵长包皮吗？
What are you, a chauvinist then? Ha!
He smiles until he realizes his comeback wasn't very good. Then he frowns again.
Let's go.
Not so fast, Mr. Feminist. You owe me 130 real.
悄悄溜走。
As you blow this job behind you, whiny voice shouts.
别人叫你付钱，你可以拔腿就好了。
Real mature, man. Real mature.
厨房为员工保留到下午1点，那你不是应该帮我们开门吗？把酒瓶握在手里就会自动产生魔法。上报警政遗失，他说要在调查完尸体后才可以开始，所以他可能还是会叫我付钱。
Real mature, man. What exactly were you trying?
Damn, your feet thought we got away.
You know what? The stupid drinks you've had are on the house. You know why? Because I know you can't pay for them. Not because you ran away. Now, I still have to charge you for 3 nights and the broken window. That's 100 square. Don't thank me yet. You still owe me 100 real. If you don't have it by tonight, I can't let you up there. Now, what the hell did you want? I assume you wanted something to come back here. Do I have a shaker in my hand? Is this a shaker?
It's not a shaker. It's nothing. He's holding nothing. It is but an imitation.
Am I wearing a little bow tie? Am I smiling? Do you see me smiling and shaking my little shaker? No. Do you know why? Because I'm not a bartender. I'm a...
Play it calm. This man needs to understand you need a drink to help the community deal with police.
我他妈的想要喝一杯混蛋。
Oh, well, in that case, let me pour you a nice, big, refreshing marinella. Do you want that out of a glass or a pineapple? Don't be an imbecile. I'm not going to serve you a marinella. I have work to do and broken things to fix. If that was all, I'd like to return to it.
哎，不倒酒给我，靠！
What thing? What are you, a cook now? That's none of your business. He wasn't pan-fried, he was lynched. What could the kitchen possibly have to do with...
Uh-huh.
Fine, okay. The kitchen is closed until 1 p.m. because the cook is working. You can snoop around after that, if you must.
这个不知道是不是早上9点51哈？
Yes, not the whole damn union, thank God. They come here in the evenings.
We should find out who this Lord faction is, occupying the booth. Loudness means talkative, and we need info. We don't. We have to wait. They'll show up sooner or later. Men get hungry, even striking men. If not today.
There are these things called days. You sleep between them. He's saying they'll come after you've slept. Just making clear you got that.
What?
By the way, you should come back to this thing-based questionnaire.
Another thing. Great, yes. Absolutely out of the question.
Absolutely in the question. First we find a sad banger, then we sing this place to shit.
等一下，内陆帝国检定到底是啥小啊？为什么全部内陆帝国检定都超级强的内容？
Your body is ready, sire.
Yes, have you got it? A lot. For the room and broken window? Like what? I was really enjoying.
所以我们逃跑成功，只换到了30块的折扣而已。
By the way,
最后还是1100块。
The address is coming up blank, and this place sure isn't it. But you've been at this hostel cafeteria for only 3 nights. Where were you before? You had to be somewhere. You don't really know, do you? A vague, blackened image doesn't sound like somewhere you can stay if you run out of money.
我是个流浪警探。
You can try. Run some addresses in your head when you get the time. Maybe a street or an apartment.
要想办法回想起自己的家在哪里。所以，我同时可以用3个格子的样子吧，更多的要解锁。但这个不知道，一个要4小时30分，一个要6小时5分。他说下午1点会开，我现在是早上9点的话，那还有一段时间呢，应该出去逛逛了。
You see a set of tire tracks in the brown slush that covers the plaza mosaic. The tire tracks were left here by an unknown event that took place some days ago. It's a message, written in the language of burnt rubber.
就从这里撞过来，然后倒车之后跑掉。
Some of that rubber stuck to the tiles right in front of the whirling in rags. This is point A. The driver started there, and then accelerated straight into the fence, left a hole big enough for the Franco-Nigerian cavalry. According to the cafeteria manager, the driver proceeded to back out of the yard, barely stopping before hitting the adjacent building. Before heading south, must have been in a hurry.
这个翻译错了 ，barely hitting the adjacent building， 意思就是差一点撞到了隔壁的大楼。barely 就是没有的意思啊，就差一点。
You are correct. This is a rather motor carriage friendly city. I'm not sure. There are plenty of traffic accidents waiting to happen.
You could follow the track south. There seems to be a canal there. See where they went, if you find the time.
往南走，追踪它。互动的时候不能点2下叫它用跑的。
An old call box with a matrix of push buttons lists all the companies in the East Delta Commerce Center.
"你在冲三小的屁孩。
Kuno's got this.
If there ever was such a thing as an ugly kid, then this is it.
靠背
He's almost exquisite in his ugliness, like a gremlin.
Oh yeah, nappa comfy, Kuno. Right in the dick, Kuno. Get him right in the dick.
Love it in the dick.
The boy is sweating profusely. His eyes are like two black holes and his jaw is twitching as if trying to break free from the empire of his body.
Fuck that, Kuno. Yeah, right in the mouthhole.
Shits himself.
The rake, Kuno. You should throw the rake at him, Kuno.
The fuck? Does Kuno know what a rake is? Kuno is not a gardener.
你们是亲戚吗？
The fuck are you talking about?
He's calling us Kuno. He says we're fucking each other.
Alright, entertain the Kuno. Show me what you got. What you got there? What you got?
The kid moves his hands like a basketball player dribbling fast. Irregular speech patterns, overconfidence. Could this kid be on
要了
drugs? This warrants further investigation into this Kuno.
Kuno's Kuno, pig?
It's always Kuno, never I. Clearly the kid's using the third-person perspective as a shield.
Kuno doesn't do that smart shit. Don't throw that bullshit at Kuno. Kuno knows you're lying. Trying to get Kuno hooked on the book.
Watch out, Kuno. He's trying to fiddle you. He's gonna put his hands on you. Help! Pig's got Kuno. Help!
Help! He's got the Kuno
瑞
out!
强奸个屁！
Everyone can hear. You need to get the hell out of here before.
Everybody, please! He's sticking his dick out!
靠背啊！
Escalate, Kuno. His dick is out. You're afraid.
所以昆诺斯感觉是在遥控昆诺吗？
Pigs in aim, Kuno! Somebody, please!
How did we get here? How did this happen? This makes no sense. There may still be a way out. Just appeal to his reason.
Help! Misters, help! He's flashing Kuno! He's showing his genitals! If you don't help Kuno now, it'll be too late! No one? Kuno's doing this because he likes it, pig.
Help! The pig's gagging him. Kuno can't speak.
You put him up to this yourself when you decided to talk to him in the first place.
Listen to your friend. Kuno owns the fat ass. Help! The RCM is trying to fuck Kuno! No!
The nearly psychopathic way they could slip in and out of the act implies you're not the first victim.
Fucking logical! Help! The logical pig is fiddling Kuno!
干，真的是欠揍哎！没有选强身健体，真的是太可惜了。
Look.
For emphasis, a ghost is saying this. A shit-eating psychopathic ghost with an ace up his sleeve.
I know you wanted to hit me. You got that I'm gonna fuck that Kuno up look that Kuno's dad gets. The murder look. The rage look.
Relax. He can't read your mind. He doesn't know you were thinking that.
还要逻辑思维成功才可以不被他挑衅。
There's a dead body. Remember, that's what you were doing here. You're a cop on a case.
It's good you said that. Here it is. Here we go. Kuno like, oh no. Pass you around like...
Kuno turned you into...
No, you're not.
Bitch, you're gonna be in this shit with Kuno forever.
A peepo is a type of hat, by the way.
You don't talk to me about my fucking peeper. You don't know where I come from. You just Kuno's bottom bitch.
Okay. Kuno is kind to his bitch. Ask your questions. But remember, this changes shit.
Click, 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 click.
传奇难度通情达理。
Shitload pig. What?
Don't tell the pig shit, Kuno.
This is where you quickly ask him questions. Real cop questions. Like a cop.
Just a couple of pigs sniffing around in the dirt. That seems pretty fucking suspicious to Kuno.
Yeah, you tell the faggoty, Kuno.
Kuno's fucking. Kuno uses the fucking for target practice.
He's trying to hide the fact that he doesn't know.
Kuno knows all kinds of shit. Kuno's not a snitch, that's all. Trying to make the Kuno sing into the popo phone. Probably climbed. Kuno was busy down the road when that shit went down. You heard Kuno. Kuno wasn't even in Martinez. Kuno wasn't in Revachol. Kuno wasn't regional. I don't know. Some fucking... Mesco or I don't know. Some other place. Night City. Kuno was in fucking Night City.
There is no Night City anywhere. That sounds like the name of a city in some pulp science fiction novel.
Why you gotta be riding Kuno's ass? You haven't been where Kuno's been. You haven't been in Kuno's head. You wanna know where Kuno was? You wanna know what Kuno's been fucking up to?
Don't tell him that, Kuno. It's lame.
It's not fucking lame. Kuno's building Kuno's City. Night City. Rage City. The City of Rage. That's it.
Lame.
That's the name of Kuno's City, bitch. Get the fuck off Kuno's back. This shit ain't about that.
It's impossible to deduce what it is about, at least for the moment. If it's important, it'll come up later. Focus on the case.
You're testing Kuno's patience here.
Get lost.
Right, pig. This is where Kuno plays with his little wooden choo-choo. Fuck do you want with it? Yeah, whatever. Kuno doesn't give a shit. Yeah? The kingdom... Yeah, whatever. Kuno does the fuck about it. You're testing...
没有什么选项可以问呢。
Kuno doesn't fucking care.
This trash container is locked. The sliding lid has a padlock that says, whirling, just a trash container. There, your fingers start to itch just looking at that padlock.
We could try using a pry bar. There's one in my motor carriage, or we could ask for a key from the manager of the Whirling in Rags. He probably has one.
He might also have information. This is better than the pry bar idea.
Kuno, the pig's getting pretty close to me. Come to snuff my shit out, I think. Looks like it's time for me to go, Kuno. Pig's come to take me in. I'm going away for a long, long time, Kuno. Going away for life.
靠背啊！
What's going on there? Fuck are you trying to pull, pig?
You don't want to fuck with me. I got my hands bloody.
You can still see the top of her hat from behind the fence.
I'll die before I squeal, pig. I come from the woods, good Davidu. You don't want to go there with me.
You don't be traumatized.
I'll die before I squeal, pig. What's this kid shit? Fucking mind games. I'd rather die than squeal.
Get the fuck out of here, face. You got.
So it's a girl. Interesting.
I'll die before I squeal. Murder was the case they gave me.
There
are several footprints in the mud, left by work boots.
6到12
Anywhere
人
from 6 to 12 pairs have walked here.
哎，不是吧？你这样也能死？你算不出人数就死了？你认真的？
Despair creeps into you, getting fat on your weakness. Whatever noble intentions you once had as a police officer, it's eating them all up now.
你算不出人数，算不出人数就放弃人生了，三小啦。
You're still coming up with
士气有没有这么低啦
That's a step up from total annihilation, right?
Fuck me? Please leave the rage you have for after we finish the investigation.
Nothing you can say would make you feel any better.
靠背。
Cop gives up the detective genre for social realism. Another police officer resigned from the RCM following a nervous breakdown. He now lives under a bridge, drinking and occasionally throwing excrement at passers-by.
好像是一模一样的评论呢。我们在每个阶段死掉，应该都是固定的死法。还好我们刚才有自动存档。那看一下，我的人物之前是有拿到经验值。你说这个是可以按的，是吗？没有啊。哦，啊，哦 ，shit， 他把我的治疗物品用掉了的样子，所以血量不是问题啦。可是我士气上限就只有1，所以横竖只要扣1士气我就死了。血量就先算了。
This trash can just your fingers stuck.
We could have.
He might.
哎，72%，没有这么容易
There
死
are
吧？
several footprints in the mud, left by work boots.
他还跟我说
Anywhere from 6 to 12
是个白色检定，你可以重复尝试。结果检定失败，直接士气崩溃死亡。哎，
Maybe more than 12. No. 8 pairs of boots have shuffled back and forth in the mud. 1. Standard work boot, steel reinforced toes, number 46. 2. Standard work boot, steel reinforced toes, number 44.
为什么他看得出来是有这个钢制护指的？我穿过有钢头靴啊，但是钢头靴鞋底是看不出什么异样的。所以难道是踩下去的脚印的配重会看出差异吗？
3. Hobnailed work boot, steel reinforced toes, number 43. 4. Standard work boot, number 45 or 46. You don't know. It's a miracle you can tell the prints apart as it. 5. Another standard work boot, steel 6. An aberration, light as air. Even pace, same make of boot, but number 41. Impossible to tell. Could also have been an adolescent. The gait is undeveloped. You're not bad. It's as if the whole world darkens. Everything else has a thin film of unimportance on it. 7. The glowing outline of a standard work boot. Number 46.
有一个特别年轻或是女性，
Twice as deep as the others. The weight exceeds 200 kilograms.
然后有一个特别胖，46号。
8. And yet another standard work boot. Number 44. There's an aberration in the pattern of the sole, however.
右脚磨损，大量磨损，但是左脚没有磨损的工作靴。
How many?
11人。
I was pretty off then. I counted 20. I never got the hang of it. Hyperopia. Do you see anything out of the ordinary? A woman or a kid? Understood. Anything else? 200? Could it be the combined weight of 2 people, one carrying the other who's tied up? Let's say a heavily built worker carrying a similarly built, soon-to-be...
He might be right. 200 kilograms of living weight is unlikely.
Possibly, yes.
But why?
Yes, they could have used a makeshift stretcher or just march him up to the gallows. You have a point there. Anyway, it's something to consider. What else interesting? Let's name it the odd saw. Someone operating a workbench with a pedal, like a joiner at the harbor. Or maybe a drummer? No, it's not. Forget I said it. We are not looking for a drummer. Perhaps it could be a driver. A driver would wear out their right shoe before the left. The accelerator is on the right.
He doesn't seem to hear you. Looking south toward the traffic jam instead. The machines are silent.
We should keep our eyes open around the traffic jam. See whether anyone strikes out as a potential suspect. Seems prudent, no? A week, maybe? 7 days would fit the time frame provided to us by the caller, who
7
reported
天的
behind
足迹都还可以保留下来，还没有被屁孩弄光。
It is not impossible.
I pulled last week's forecast for coastal Havashon. 7 days below freezing. The day before, the day of his hanging, was the last warm day.
Correct again. Sub-zero temperatures would preserve the tracks in a good state. The commotion here could have
所
taken
以是因为
place.
这段时间都在处于0度之下。
What do I think? A mob of people brought something heavy to the tree. One of them was carrying the victim. They shuffled around, especially under the tree. Then, after hoisting him up, they stood in a semicircle facing his direction. At first glance, this appears to be a lynching.
Indeed. They all stood in a row here and looked at the tree. Yes, everything fits so well. Carried him over. Hoist. The lieutenant's eyes narrow. He's thinking to him.
Either way. What else?
"在温室里种药草。
An inconspicuous pile of the roofing material, Eternite.
什么叫做桌游宗主国啦 ？What？ 你不要跟我说你看不到建材，看失败了又士气崩溃啊！我存个档好了。
An inconspicuous pile of the roof because there's a secret door hidden behind the panels of Eternite. That's why they're too orderly. There it is. You see a shabby little door.
这不像是挪开啊，我以为是把板子挪到旁边。
What is this then? A tool?
这不能拿，这边都已经是另外一个区域了。美珍补剂空管，白富美生活是真小。黄骨粉，黄骨色，
Be still, my beating heart.
安非
It's
当命。
amphetamine, sweet amphetamine. The lieutenant isn't studying the powder in the mirror. He's studying you. There's a good, vague way to ask where he stands on drug use. Professionally, I mean.
Perhaps not. This is below our pay grade, detective. However, see that ladder there? It's probably another way into the industrial harbor, no? The secret...
要么滚开，要么搞砸。我还没把尸体放下来。又到了屋顶之类的地方。明信片，门框都快要塌了。到处都是零钱。并没有地方可以让我拿到。
Looks like someone left his tarpaulin cloak hanging on the railing here.
因为它上面也有这个白色方块。
When the wind ruffles the cloak, you can most definitely see a white rectangle on its back.
Yes, it's probably yours. It bears the RCM insignia, and you have a habit of being careless with your equipment.
靠腰。
You could probably make the jump. You look like you've done some track and field in your day.
为了你的斗篷跳过这个平台。
The cloak? I do think it's yours, yes. As to whether you should... Well, it doesn't seem too dead.
The cloak looks like a bag of goodies floating in the wind. Who knows what its pockets may hide?
我觉得我死了。
No, no. That's still too high. What were you thinking? You're not a gymnast. You're a boxer. And you've climbed way too high up there. You could have dived there. Shit. I'm failing you.
Hey! What happened? I understand.
在他嗝屁之前，我可以点紧急消耗补充士气。我们要试到读取成功为止吗？因为我还蛮想知道斗篷里面有什么。就是 日志中的地图页面会列出所有可重新尝试的白色检定。哦，我这个也失败了，靠！悲剧！我的快速存档太后面了。我们先去把尸体放下来好了啦。现在看起来，除了把尸体放下来以外，还有蛮多其他的事可以做。没有摔死，我们刚才是又要放弃人生了。又士气崩溃。
The corpse looks at you with bulging white eyes. You seem to be holding your breath. A cargo belt twists his neck at an unnatural angle. The body below appears stiff. It's letting out an ungodly rot. The smell seeps in, even through your clenched nostrils.
Active decay. It's okay to throw up, officer.
He's about to blow! Cock's gonna blow, Kuno!
The smell is repulsive. It pushes in from your mouth, more instant and more familiar. You feel a great force ringing from your stomach. Your body curls and pushes it out. But until a pool of vomit lies under your feet, the smell of Commodore Red rises from the pool. Among it, distilled spirit and bits of shish kebab.
烤肉串。
It's okay. Happens to everyone. Keep it.
我不需要你的同情。
You could use some ammonia to clear your head. There is freight nearby, east of the hostel. There's a greenhouse here, and a gardener with a wheelbarrow on the corner of the whirling in rags.
Pretty clever.
所以要放他下来，我还得要先想办法抵抗尸臭。
Inconspicuous pile because there's a secret. There it is. You see a shabby little door.
What?
我这么多的家务经验值，什么时候才会升级啊？事实上。我没有看到这个吗？不是啊，没有看到角色等级升级之类的地方，也看不到经验值。
Yes?
No response. He's having trouble processing.
Have you tried concentrate not a fan?
The RCM.
Try work. Fine. We should get through this day first. Really? This psychodrama.
Clearly, he preferred.
Then you should consider seeking medical attention. Me? I don't see how my life is pertinent to the investigation. If you insist. What do you... That's correct.
You feel a slight urge to put the lieutenant down for this. But you can't quite muster enough testosterone.
Are they? They are mostly... That's because I'm half Seolite. It's a part of...
Seo is a protectionist.
You're barking at the wrong...
A point of pride to him.
No.
Your brain said it's like you're locked down.
Something the matter.
What's going on? The lieutenant relaxes his eyebrow.
What do you mean? I have no...
The lieutenant's conceptualization.
What?
The lieutenant, we all have our different...
Good. Let...
好了，存档，我来跟他谈谈嗑药的事。
Be still, my beating heart. It's amphetamine. The lieutenant isn't studying the powder in the mirror. There's a good, vague way to ask where he stands on drug use. Professionally, I mean.
No, I'm just a regular detective, thank you very much. Of course, detective. Swift justice. Don't worry, we don't have to investigate every trace of narcotics.
Yeah, swift, lightning justice. Faster, harder, justicer.
See that ladder? There?
更公正都可以有
Probably
ER
another way to the industrial harbor, no? 修复的支柱撑住了废墟。
Looks like someone when the wind ruffles the cliff.
Yes, you could probably make the jump. You look like you've done some track and field.
哎，看到这个光芒就知道我失败了。
Nope, no, that's still too high. What were you thinking? You're not a gymnast, you're a boxer, and you've climbed way too high up there.
跳失败而已，有需要这样吗？你跳失败就绝望了。
You're still coming up with sentences.
I don't dispute that you have been charged with protecting the people.
Nothing you can say would. Cop gives.
因为跳不过去，放弃就开始怀疑人生了。看来这个失败的代价有点大啊，因为它浪费蛮多时间的。我可能不是很想跳了，我们跳最后一次失败就算了。
Looks like when the wind ruffles.
Yes, you could probably make the jump. The cloak? Well,
The cloak looks like a bag. The wind is aggressive up here. The lieutenant looks at the enormous crane towering in the distance. That machine is a Kvalsund 1020 HK.
Is it? Kvalsund makes a lot of heavy equipment, but this is phenomenal, even for them. But I digress. We were focusing on your cloak here. What are we doing? We're awfully close to breaking into the industrial harbor. They are bound to, or it could be that we are just exploring.
哎，绿的，靠！
As you leap in the air, a chilly breeze engulfs you, sharpening your senses. Ankles tingling from the tension, blood roaring in your ears. You are ready for your rendezvous with the concrete pavement below. As the concrete floor welcomes you, you realize it's been a while since you felt so alive, alert, capable. Must be the adrenaline.
I knew you could do it. My climbing down might not have been as disco as your jump, but at least we can explore the harbor now.
靠，妈的，明明就可以爬下来，我为什么要跳了？
With your feet firm.
那明显在旁边
The noise of
鼓吹你做这些蠢事。天人感应，同舟共济。我没有穿到啊。哦，所以多了一个天人感应而已。先看一下这里是到哪里。某个 塔台。巨大的臀印，扶手上有咖啡杯压过的痕迹。
An imposing combination of a punch clock and a payphone is looking down at you.
化为青烟。抽屉上锁的文件柜。
On second glance,
It's unfortunate for the Union to just leave their paperwork lying around like this.
the drawer opens smoothly. Inside is a well-organized selection of brown folders, hundreds of documents containing logistical data. Two kinds of transactions stand out. Materials coming into Revachol from the outside world, from Muindi, Grad, and even Ilmala. And the same materials being handed over to companies inside Revachol, Kuan, Coal City, La Delta, and Jamrock are listed among the many districts where the imports are being sold. It's hard to make sense of this thicket of company names, dates, quantities, and percentages.
Wow.
You try to focus, but the lines are getting blurry.
这也太
The drawer slides.
难度有点高
The
欸。
file cabinet stands steady as ever. Look how blurry all the lines on these papers are.
Shit.
How unwieldy. Hermeneutics was almost within your grasp, but now only vague letters float before your eyes.
Is that what you're doing with those folders over there? Good. This is
The drawer slides shut smoothly.
他说在地图，我需要一份城市地图才可以做这件事。白底的是已经可以进行尝试的，可是这个并没有让我重新尝试啊。
Stands steady as ever, and the unlocked drawer slides out to greet you.
要先点出意志坚定才可以。我们现在逛一下其他地方啦。明信片，德维牌打字机。每个工人等于董事会成员。工会图示，我们要民主。故弄玄虚。嗯哼，故弄玄虚减1。但是容易发现细节。Try again。我们刚才跳10几趴都成功了，对不对？
Drawer slides out to greet you. Look how blurry all the lines on these papers are. Hermeneutics was almost within your grasp, but now only vague letters float before you. You're a police officer, not a spiritual healer. You can. The drawer slides.
悲剧，好了，是最后一次了。是失败就直接回顶楼看看还有什么地方可以去。感觉自己配角应该也还蛮有趣的哦。如果不要用他预设的角色的话，他确实有不少检定类型。
Steady as ever, and the unlocked drawer slides out to greet you. Whatever's hidden here is
我每
hidden
次说
well.
最后一次就会成功的，我靠！
Concentration isn't enough. Only a trained accountant with a background in logistics would be able to really make sense of it. However, there is a little handwritten note stuck on the side of the drawer. It appears to be a to-do list written in large, uneven capital letters. Remember, Leo, Everart's shoes, special whirling borscht, water Everart's plants, sweep office floor, more banners.
给利奥的字条，然后艾弗拉特就是他们的工会领袖。我们这次没有问到那个睡着的黑人，所以少掉了不少资讯，是我们的角色不会知道的。
All items on the list have been crossed out, and the note itself is crumpled.
Everard Clare, probably, the head of the Debarders Union. One of his aides must have left it. Nothing incriminating here.
The special borscht seems a bit odd in the list. Remember, Leo, Everard, all items on the list have been crossed out, and the note itself is crumpled. The drawer slides shut.
特殊罗宋汤。收集雨水的。3包烟头。
This is the night watchman's booth. The name on the door reads, René Arnaud. Listen, it's okay to take a few minutes to yourself.
What?
Sit down and have a breather. You need to rest. Your body is aching. Getting in here has taken something out of you. Have a seat.
失败就是会强迫我想要进去休息。
If you must. But please hurry. We are pretty easy to spot up here.
Nothing incriminating catches your eye. The cabinets are clean and their sparse contents meticulously organized. There's a framed photograph. It's a black and white photo of a young couple out in a street fair. The man is young, dark-skinned, and dressed in a Royal Carabinier uniform. The girl is smiling playfully at the camera.
Why did you take that? Fine, but let's move. I don't want to be seen snooping around here.
所以他其实也没有强迫我休息啊。
A rusting control panel with several knobs. 2 buttons marked Marche and Arrête are faded with use. It seems to control the large crane of Allumer on, Éteindre off. With a loud grind, the crane shifts overhead, moving a massive metal container through the air.
我还是不知道我到底做了什么，我只是启动而已，为什么他自己就开始卸货了？全自动的。
And with a surprisingly quiet thunk, the harbor sleeps as the strike rages in the distance. The crane can rest again, now that its purpose has been fulfilled. Moving this container, of course.
I can't see how that was worth the ruckus, except for seeing the crane in action, which I admit was satisfying.
The crane does not return to its original position.
到处都是药罐，我看就先把生命补满好了，避免后来忽然往生。
Before you stands a cargo container, just one of many in the yard.
You do? Because I don't. There are a million containers here. Why are you fixating on this one? It's a cargo container, detective, just like all the others. We are not here to interact with containers. We are here to talk to the Union, right?
You attempt to turn the handle, to no avail. The door to your left, the lieutenant considers your actions with some puzzlement. No reply. The knob produces a hollow ring of metal. Doesn't sound like there's anything in.
打不开，还有个广播塔。鲜血的味道，这是上锁的意思吗？我觉得我应该要先去他的车厢拿撬棍的。如果照这样说的话。 它的拾取界面感觉不是特别好用。
Container, container, I'll turn you nice and red. Container, container, put the logos on.
The lyrics to this container song are being made up as he goes along. The accent is so thick, it's impossible not to notice he's Ubi, from the vanishing peninsula of Ubisund on Muindi.
Container, container, used to be Wild Pines. Container, container, now belongs to Everard. Everard, 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 he looks after everyone. Huh? Well, hey there. How can I help you, mister? I see you are not a union man, mister. Did you get lost? You're not one of them scabs, are you?
公贼.
I mean, I don't personally mind. Folks is just folks, you know, and folks gotta eat. Just some of the other guys don't look too kindly on the scabbing kind, if you know what I mean, mister. Oh yes, born and raised in Arish, mister. Mum had to leave my dad after he got a bit violent. Took us here to the new world. I was about 10 then, too old to lose my accent then. People say us Ubis are up to all sorts of trouble with sheep and other animals and whatnot. I just want you to know there was never any of that where I come from. No.
Thank you for clarifying that, sir.
Oh, I'm just making some covers for them containers here. Yes I am, yes I am. So it's easier for the crane operators to spot them.
Everything is so pretty and red. You and
Shit.
Leo look like brothers as you glance around with similar childlike wonder. The old man whistles and hums a jaunty tune to himself.
Oh, most of the guys are down at the gates, keeping the scabs from coming in. We're on a strike. The whole union is. You don't have to work when you're on strike. Ha! We haven't worked for 2 months now.
对，表示你不是2个月没有收入了吗？
So no one is working?
Not everyone is down there, of course. Mr. Everard is in his office, where he always is. And Jean-Luc is guarding the gate. But Titus and his boys got into some drunken trouble and Everard sent them on a nice vacation. For a week or so. Oh, I'm not really supposed to talk about that. That's union business. Him and his boys stirred up something in town. Probably drank too much and got into a fight or something. I heard Mr. Everett telling him to take some time off. I guess the boys got a bit too rowdy and had to let out some steam. I don't really know the details. That's just how boys are, you know. I haven't been in a fight since I was in middle school.
Easy, Leo. Let's keep this on the hearties.
Look at him. It's not gonna be anything useful anyway. Don't fight it. Better to go with the flow.
I remember I was the runt of the class. The bigger boys always used to pick on me. You see, I had a bit of a temper back in the day. Flew off the handle like nobody's business. But Mr. Everett and his brother always came to help. Once they beat old Noel Becker so bad he needed stitches on his head. Noel never started another fight with anyone after this. Mr. Everett and Mr. Edgar are real nice guys, mister. You should go talk to Mr. Everett. I'm sure you'll be good friends. He's friends with everyone around here. Oh, yes, yes. I leave all kinds of notes for myself. That old head of mine ain't so good at keeping things in no more. Oh, yes. I've been taking special whirling borscht to the men every day since the strike started.
飞旋旅社特制罗宋汤给大家。
It's very, very good. Makes a man feel so warm and happy. I feel like I could take on Mr. Renadan's boar dogs every time the lunch is done. Yes, yes. I'm taking it to them. The borscht keeps them happy and in fighting spirits. Makes you all warm inside. They brew it in the whirling in rags. Oh, sure, mister. Sure. You do that. Yes, sir.
He didn't actually understand what you meant, and now he's just nodding along.
Yes, yes. Yeah, I'm like Mr. Everett's right hand. Actually, Miss Beaufort is the right-hand man, but she's a lady.
Who is this, Miss Beaufort?
A real pretty lady with a skin like those ZhiWei Sucre candy bars my missus likes so much. Them are real nice to suckle on once the dinner is done and me and the missus sit down beside the radio. But I can't listen to the radio all the time. There's so much to do around here and oh, Lizzie, she is a real sharp tool. Mr. Everett put her through some fancy school and everything, east of the river.
He respects that word. That's obvious.
But she's a real nice girl. Grew up in this here neighborhood. Knows if me missus and me was to have a child, I'd be real happy if she turned out like her. But she can't. Dr. Lemaitre said so. And she knows about such things. Been a doctor for almost...
So Everett trained a lawyer named Miss Beaufort. Interesting.
是他自己培训的律师。
You see disdain in the lieutenant's dark eyes when they meet yours for a moment.
Oh, mister, I do a lot more than that. I really do most everything around here. Mr. Everett said many times I'm irreplaceable. Oh, that one. That should be empty as far as I know. Lots of containers here have nothing.
Told you.
Oh, you want Mr. Everett then? He's an awfully nice fellow, he is. Him and his guys like Mr. Everett and Mr. Edgar, his brother, are real good guys. Made Martinez what it is today. Oh, Mr. Everett is where he always is. In his office, of course.
右边两个连起来的货柜就是前方警告，请准备万全。靠，什么？我先快速存档一下。所以巨大的屁屁就是他的留下的巨大屁股痕迹。
Before you is a walrus of a man seated
像海象一般的男人。
He looks up from his work, not the least bit surprised to see you. With great effort, he straightens himself up in his chair, yet says nothing. He simply stares at you, with a mixture of expectation and impatience well bottled.
Welcome, Mr. Dubois, Mr. Kitsuragi. It's good of you two to stop by. Please, have a seat.
原来我叫做杜博雅是吗？
I'm Everard Clare, head of the Debarders Union here in Martinez. I'd offer you my hand, but unfortunately my health prevents me from getting up. You understand?
He looks extremely comfortable. The tiny folding chair, on the other hand, looks like a torture device.
这也是很多面试之类的会常用的伎俩啊，就基本上利用自己的场景、给你的家具、给你的座椅这些，去让你有那种穿小鞋的不安感，然后去塑造这些身份地位的差异。
You go ahead, detective.
Whatever he has in store for you, it can't be good, he thinks. I'll forget about that. What's with this Dubois stuff? You're getting some seriously bad vibes from that name.
你为什么叫我杜博雅先生？
Please, Mr. Dubois, let us converse in a civilized manner, as equals. Take a seat. I insist.
It's nothing. Yes, that's probably right. It's nothing. Forget about it. Filter it out.
Excellent, Mr. Dubois. I can see that you're a reasonable man, and reasonable men can be of great use to one another. So tell me, how can the head of the Debarders Union help a representative of the Revachol Citizens Militia today?
The chair you're sitting on has got to be the most uncomfortable chair in the world. It's violating your backside.
我可以坐个椅子坐死的哦。
Oh, by the way, I heard you got a rather rude reception from a certain Lawrence Gart. Some people have no manners, it pains me to say. This should take care of that nonsense. It should be sufficient to cover your expenses for a few days and patch over your differences with a cafeteria manager. Go ahead, take it.
Wow, that's 25 real. That's good money. You need it.
Yes, I know Lawrence. He's a real character. No union man in him. A real piece of work, that boy is.
With a grin, he points to the checker game. It's like you're on a game show. At least don't thank him for it.
Okay. I respect a man with principles. No handouts, then. Now, I'd like to set your mind at ease about one other matter. Your lost gun. Let me assure you, Union people are on it as we speak. I've got my best hounds looking for that lost gun.
His slug-like lips move, but all you hear is an echo. Lost gun, lost gun, lost gun.
Hey.
The world is swallowed by a black hole of fear. Only 2 words escape its gravitational pull. Oh God, why didn't you think of this before? Cops have guns. Where's yours?
Hey.
It's gone. Your gun is gone.
Are you all right, Harry? You seem anxious. Don't be. Everything's going to be all right. It's not like you left it loaded. You didn't lose a loaded gun. Local children aren't out there playing with it right now, pointing it into their own mouths. It's in a...
It was loaded. There were 2 bullets in it. You always keep at least 2 barrels loaded.
我因为枪是个惊喜，然后这把椅子让我痛苦不堪，扣1扣2，三小啦。
God, you're sweating. Your knee is jerking. You're about to cry.
哭
You're about to cry because you lost your gun.
Mr. Dubois,
三
you
小，
don't look so good.
我又放弃人生了。
Getting fat on your weakness. Whatever noble intentions, you're still coming up with
你
sentences.
哭了会怎样吗？
That's a step up from total. He watches you melt down stoically from behind the lenses of nothing you can say would make
真的很高飞。
gives up the detective genre for social rig.
哎、这是我看过最玻璃心的警探了，太夸张了，而且整个糜烂到一个靠背。我们这是要想办法死也不坐那张椅子。等一下啊，我还可以升级。这应该不会点的就升嘛，要按这里。谁会去升内陆帝国这种鬼东西啊？有没有办法加1士气？我的士气太低了。然后还有沉迷毒品专用的技能树，我的天哪！记得要留一些技能点啊、我不知道是什么意思。所以能工巧匠还包含了除了偷窃以外，还包含了开锁。所以每一项的起头的能力是直接影响到后续的每一个加值。那个别的技能升级好像不是那么重要了，但起头的能力好像不能改了，对不对？我们这个一开始的配点似乎没办法再改了。士气就是心智。所以我没办法加咯，我永远都只有471哦。对啊，因为我没办法在这边配点了。我们刚才有用到什么能力比较常见的？意志坚定，好了。可是我觉得意志坚定就算加1，它也不会，这个加值也还是很难通过各类检查，因为我的心智1太低了。我们不如朝伸手这里发展，还有一点机会。道具扣2。手眼协调吧。
Before you is a walrus of a man, seated behind a large desk. He looks up from his work, not the least bit surprised to see you.
哦，加技能点可以再次用来解开失败的白色检定。OK。
With great effort, he straight with a mixture of expectation.
Welcome, Mr.D. I'm Evra. I'd offer you my...
He looks
You go ahead.
whatever he has in store. Forget about that. What's with this Dubois?
Please, Mr. Dubois, let us
It's nothing. Yes, that's probably right.
Very well, Mr. Dubois.
可以
I
不做吗？
respect a man with strong convictions. I, too, have convictions. One of which is that I will not engage with any man who won't face me at eye level. Should you find yourself more amenable in the future, I'd gladly resume.
You're no Titan affiliation, buddy. He's got you in a fork. Sit down or leave.
Shit！ 意志限定就这样失败了。我不知道意志鉴定成功了，是不是可以不要坐下？
I'd offer you my hat.
He looks.
You go ahead, detective.
Whatever. Forget about that. What's with this Dubois stuff?
Please, Mr.
It's nothing. Yes, that's
Very well, Mr. I, too. Should you find yourself...
You're no Titan affiliation, buddy.
哼，
He's got you in a fork.
有这么难吗
Or leave.
？11点，我的加值好像只有加1，所以55以上好像有点难了。先调查更多情报的话，才会有更多的正向价值来对抗它。哦，好啊，也可以啊，反正我不是很想要拿去点那个意志鉴定。但调查情报跟坐下有关吗？我觉得我到时候还是会被叫我坐下，然后我就乖乖坐下了。靠！居然漏钱没有捡到的。他给我的贿赂费用是25块，所以好像也不是说特别多。
You're back before the cargo container. You're back before no reply. The knock produces a hollow ring. You attempt to your left. The lieutenant considers your actions.
死都要打开它，但是打不开。这个门我不能走。对啊。这个门我不能走啊！他说只有工会领袖能够帮我打开，所以我跳下来之后我就出不去了。
The already familiar cold touch of plastic welcomes you as you pick up.
看一下打电话可以干嘛？
The machine swallows your coin and seems to be waiting for your next move.
肌肉记忆，随便拨一个号码。
It's unclear whether you actually have muscle memory. Right now, your finger is just drawing vaguely occult. Undoubtedly, no. Sure, why not? Muscle memory is it? The already familiar cold touch of your fingers run over the dial pad. 005. That's the dialing code for Revachol. 4952. And a moment of hesitation before entering the final numbers. 993. Calling. Calling. Still calling. Then
Video reversal, 24-hour video rental. We rent 8 and 10mm film for home use. This is Lum. How may I help you?
The voice of a youngster on the other end sounds as enthusiastic as that of a...
Video reversal is a 24-hour video rental. We rent 8 and 10mm film for home use. This is Lummy. No. Sir, I don't know. It's a video rental. Maybe you rent videos here. Maybe you call to extend your rental period? Do you need to extend your rental period? If you need any further assistance, you can visit us on the corner of Voyager and Main. I can't help you over the phone. Are we done?
The call is terminated by the other.
靠！虽然说是有一点点进度的感觉，但我不知道这个东西是干嘛的。我们应该是没有办法离开这个区域啊，照这样看起来，只能直接先去找他了。心智有够低，意志有够不坚定，靠！试试看呢、反正这个没有存档，如果他真的成功了再说。
With a mixture of it.
Welcome, Mr. I'm M. I'd offer you my hand.
He looks. You go ahead. Whatever.
你至少应该要放我们出去吧，妈的
What's with this?
Please, Mr.
It's nothing. Yeah.
Very well. I too. Should you find yourself more...
You're no Titan affiliation, buddy.
去
He's got you in a fork.
所以这个东西是没有骰的吗？我每一次都失败，然后上一次是7，这一次是8，等于我加值加1，它也只固定加1而已。这个东西不是用掷骰的吗？因为如果不是的话，除了2点以外，那6点是哪来的？他用什么值决定是6点的？
Excellent, Mr. Dubois. So tell me, how...
The chair you're sitting on.
Oh, by the way, this, it should be sufficient.
Wow, that's 25 real. That's good money. You need it.
Don't mention it. But also, don't forget it. I'm just kidding, of course.
He's not.
Now, I'd like to set your mind at ease.
The world is... Oh, God. Why didn't you think of this before? Cops have guns.
我的士气有增加
Where's yours? Fuck love. This is your gun.
Are you all right, Harry? It's not like you left...
It was loaded. There were 2 bullets in it. You always keep at least...
拿走兑奖支票的话，还会再扣1。
God, you're sweating. Your knee...
Mr. Dubois, you...
What is this, Mr. Dubois? He keeps repeating.
Mr. Dubois! Mr. Dubois! Harry! Mr. Dubois, are you okay?
Maybe you could use your hands somehow. In a kind of throw-in motion. Like you're throwing that Mr. Dubois act right back at him. He's Mr. Dubois.
三小了。
Don't be dramatic. I can see your condition isn't terminal.
What an odd demonstration of... you got me, Harry.
Okay, enough. We are here to ask you...
Quick, here's your window. Get yourself together and ask him questions. Police officer questions.
Oh, of course. That's your main thing here. That's why you're in Martinez. I know everything that goes on around here, and I would love to discuss it with you.
检定有被动跟主动，被动他会帮我骰。对啊，我指的就是他到底是不是骰的，因为他每一次都是6点。
I mean, it's no secret that the lynching is connected to the strike. So much to talk about. Honestly, it's been weighing on me so heavily. I understand you need to interview me. But there's a thing that's been keeping me up at night. I want to talk about the hanging. I mean, if we could just calmly talk, exchange information, we could blow this thing wide open.
Yes, that sounds good. Let's do...
But I can't think straight with this thing weighing on me. You're police officers, aren't you? I have a crazy idea. You guys are basically door-opening machines. Incredibly talented at opening doors.
I'm not sure I understand. If you're asking us to...
Come now. I just need you to go open a little door for me and leave it unlocked. A simple thing. Absolutely nothing shady about it.
An excellent opportunity presents itself, sire. You could win the trust of the arch-liar, pretend to play into his hand. Then, should you wish, bend his efforts towards your own.
Fantastic, my friend. Just let me know when it's done and we can take our friendship to the next level. You can get the key from Manana. He's down by the gates. Manana's like a free agent in the Union. Special operations. Hardened socialist. A real free thinker too. He'll tell you precisely where the door is. One last thing, Harry. Just open the door. You don't need to go in or anything. I just want that weasel to come home and see the unlocked door. Of course. Let us dispatch with the formalities. You call me Everard, I call you Harry. My God, so it's true. I didn't want to believe it, but you are a fantastic science fiction amnesiac cop, aren't you?
I think the odds of that are very low.
It might be a good idea to hide your confusion. I mean, see what his game is first.
So good to hear that, Harry. Apparently my sources were wrong.
Words flow like a river of honey from his lips. I guess word has already reached him. No, it's just a brown folder. You can't make out what's written on it.
Are you trying to tell me you've gotten hold of some of our documents?
Mr. Kitsuragi, would you mind? Me and Harry are talking about his lost identity, right?
Don't just jump to the folder. That's not smart. Shows you're on the edge. Do some probing first. As you look at the folder, Everard covers it with his hand and pets it. He's hiding it from you because it's not a real RCM folder. It's just another one of those brown folders you saw in the file cabinet.
Okay, Harry, you got me. This is from the Census Bureau, not the RCM. Those Census Bureau people are absolutely corrupt. You should do something about them.
He got the name from the Census Bureau, and everything else from your actions here in Martinez.
Yes, Mr. Kitsuragi from the Census Bureau. Like I said, now I'm actually a very busy man.
That means he doesn't really know anything about Mepiti. The mystery of you will have to remain a mystery for the time being.
Yes, that's what I said. Try to keep up, okay? Let's move on. Harry, honestly, I'm just relieved you didn't get a hernia. A man your age... Yes, Harry. You are obviously in peak physical condition, and I salute both your initiative, and anyway, I assure you, I am a very well-informed man. Information reaches me before I even get the chance to request it. My dear Harry, there are literally millions of containers in this harbor. I couldn't possibly remember what's in all of them. Harry, you smooth-talking son of a bitch. Time is a precious resource, and I don't have enough of it to count containers with you.
Smooth talking. Maybe that's the way to go about opening the container. You should at least try convincing it.
Yes, your lost gun. My best men are on it. They're turning every stone. Your gun will be found, Harry. Let me assure you of that. It's just a matter of time and effort.
The only way to find it seems to be working with him. He might even be holding your gun hostage.
Harry! I was only trying to be tactful. A lost gun is a dangerous thing. I can't have it around in my neighborhood. Kids could be playing gun roulette with it as we speak. Teenage gangs could be arming themselves. Get a hold of yourself, Harry.
I assure you we are working on locating the missing sidearm as well.
Excellent, Mr. Kitsuragi. That's excellent news. Looks like we have a friendly gun-finding competition on our hands. I don't know what that means, Harry. Shady brew? There are so many moving parts in my operation, I can't keep track of them all. You know what? Don't even tell me. Whatever it is, do it. Surprise me. Just one thing. If you can, make it even shadier.
He sincerely has no idea what you were talking about. And he doesn't care either.
Wait. You need this to get in and out through the gate. Here, you're one of us now. A real red and white union man. Take care, Harry.
所以我要是有在咖啡厅偷到那张会员卡的话，应该也可以自由出入。只是因为我们，不对啊，我记得我有读档到偷窃成功吧？没有，我后来没有去偷那个人的轮班卡，是吗？没有，他在装卸工会会员卡这个才是，这个不是。所以我不知道那个轮班卡是干嘛用的。目前看起来，我真的就是需要跟他对话完，才有办法拿到离开这个区域的道具，所以有点麻烦。我存一个新的存档啊，试试看有没有办法不坐在椅子上啊。但是我觉得难度应该蛮高的。为什么我已经只剩21了？我读错档吗？哦，这是 Auto Save， 我是要读 Quick Save。所以它有自动帮我存一个 auto。我的士气是1啊，正常来讲，所以我点完心智之后，士气是有加到2，这蛮重要的其实。我点完意志鉴定之后，士气有2，没有就不会马上暴毙耶。看一下它是不是又是8啊？
Before with a mixture of
Welcome, Miss. I'd offer you my.
He looks.
You go ahead, detective.
Whatever. Forget about that. What's with this?
Please, Miss.
It's nothing. Yes.
Very well, Miss. I too. Should you find yourself.
You're no Titan affiliation, buddy. He's got
对啊，
fork.
这不是什么它自动帮我骰的这一类的问题啊，是它的加值的应用方式就是应用在标准值加6，所以我的意志鉴定就是只有2。不然不可能，我每次读档都刚好骰6了。他没有什么帮不帮我骰，他就是一个6加调整值，所以你调整值过不了就是过不了。
Mr. Dubois, please, Mr. Dubois, let us converse in a civilized. Excellent, Mr. Dubois. I can see that you are a reasonable man. And reasonable. So tell me.
The chair.
By the way, it should be sufficient.
Wow, that's 25 real. That's good money. You need it.
Yes, I.
With a grin, he points to the checker game. It's
okay now.
His.
我们不拿他的烂支票。
Oh God, why didn't you think of this before? It's gone. Your gun is gone. There's nothing in your pockets.
赶快吃个药片。
It's not like you left.
It was loaded. There were 2 bullets in it. You always keep. God, you're sweating. You're...
Mr. Dubois, you dead.
What is
再吃个药片。
Mr. Dubois, Mr. Dubois, Harry, Mr. Dubois.
Maybe you could use your hands somehow, in a kind of throw-in motion.
What an odd demonstration of.
Okay, enough.
Quick, here's your window. Get yourself together and ask him questions. police officer question.
Oh, of course. I mean, it's no secret, but there's a thing.
Yes, that sounds...
But I can't think straight with this thing weighing on me. You're police officers, aren't you? I have a crazy idea. You guys are... Oh, you're being too modest.
An excellent opportunity presents itself, sire. You could win the trust of the Archelac.
Oh, no one's. It's just a weasel. Oh, Harry, I'm a very busy man, and more importantly, I don't have that extraordinary physique you do.
You want to send someone a message that the police are working for you.
I repeat, I'm a very, very busy man, Mr. Kitsuragi, and therefore I must occasionally enlist out a loud blabbering weasel. When weasels feel no one is watching, they start acting foolishly. Just go there, unlock the door, and leave it open. It's been such a burden on me, Harry. I just want this to be over so I can discuss business. Fantastic! You can get the... Just open the door. You don't need to go in or anything. I just want that Harry, honestly, I'm just relieved you didn't get a hernia. A man your age... Yes, Harry. Anyway, I assure you, I am a very well-informed man. Information reaches, of course. My God, so it's...
I think
It might be a good idea to hide your confusion.
So good to...
Words flow. I guess it's just...
Are you trying to...
Mr. Kitsuragi...
Don't just jump to the folder. That's not... As you look at the
Okay, Harry.
He got the name.
Yes, Mr...
That made me pity.
Yes, that's what I said. Try to keep up, okay? Let's move on. My dear Harry, you
Smooth talking.
I don't know what... You know what?
He sincerely has no...
Yes, your gun.
The only way to find it seems to be working with him.
I don't care about my gun. I love it, Harry. Wish I could be like that.
The officer is exaggerating. Of course we care about the...
Excellent, Mr. Kitsuragi. That's excellent. Wait. You need this to get here.
好了，所以横竖这边都处理的差不多，只差在我有没有拿那张支票而已。我们的进度是有拿支票的，所以是个贪腐的警察，至少可以离开这个区域啊。他巨大的赠礼支票是要拿去卖掉吗？呀，在佛利多商店兑换。注意，他在当铺一文不值，一定要到佛利多的商店兑换。哦，我们有超多事情要做哎，靠！而且已经要下午1点了，下午1点之后不是有一个厨房区域会解锁给我们进去？劝说门自己打开。看我们这真的是神经病。
Why are you even trying to open a door with rhetoric?
Because what wasn't an option? Now is not the time to get philosophical, detective.
靠背啊！没有这个，要是3%成功了，它真的会打开的话，就太强了。我们这边还需要打一通电话，存个档吧。
The already familiar, the machine swallows your coin as your fingers run over the calling, still call.
Video reversal, 24 hours.
The voice of a
video reversal, sir. I don't know. It's no. Maybe you called to extend your rental period? Do you need to extend your rental period? Let me fire up the machine. Here we are. You haven't rented anything in 5 years, but you still have a copy of Blue Ocean Hell from November 46. Whoa, it's not an easy watch. After the death of his daughter and subsequent divorce, Ziemsk immigrant Egidius Wojcik tries to come to terms with the onset of dementia.
什么烂片啊！蓝海地狱。
No wonder no one's been missing it. Still, it would be great if you could return it to us. We're on the corner of Voyager and Main.
The call is terminated by the other party.
"干超级烂片的剧情描述。
Nobody betrays your degeneracy.
Yeah, Measurehead. His body totally betrays his degeneracy.
You have succumbed to Al-Ghul. You reek of it. An invisible sword of Al-Ghul emerges from your
很小啊。
You cannot see it, but others can. It is making the woman in my company sick. Your mouth moves, but the one who speaks is Al-Ghul. You are but a vessel for the Ghul. Vers Occidental Haplogroup B4 is done giving orders around here. The influence of the ham sandwich race is waning.
真小。
Begging for help, attempting to pass. You gave the world eugenics, electricity, and powerful weapons of war like missiles and aerostatic aircraft. You made great gains in metallurgy, race theory, and statecraft. You dominated lesser cultures, like the deformed Hemians and the inexplicably potato-obsessed Quakers.
痴迷于马铃薯的克吉克
Your
人。
ascent to the genetic summit has halted. You will be superseded. Isn't that right, babe?
It is, baby, yeah. You know it.
Enough with this begging. You should leave the stage of history. We bring your troops to the Seminine Islands and to Boogie Street, and we will pulverize you. When the walls will be lined with bottles of Al-Ghul, your beloved beverage. Inside, we will store the odes to homosexuality you call art, and your microcephalic skulls.
You could internalize Measurehead's race theory. It would enrich you rhetorically. The best idea. Ask what kind of races there are first. Classification is core to this stuff.
Do you?
你认真的吗？是的。
What thing? We already got in the harbor. You just want to hear about races, don't you?
You are obviously a liberal, Sailorite. A polyculturalist. I can see it from your love of microtechnology and your sartorial choices. Do not deny your friend the truth you have denied yourself. There are 3 categories of race. Type A, the heroic races. Type B, the servile races. And the vile CF race cauldron of pederasty. Which one do you need to engage? Those are the Simonese, the Areopagite, and the Occidentals, excluding the Mao, of course. The Mao are riddled with eczema to the point where they find it impossible to smile. They are all lactose intolerant, a common result of inbreeding. A receding genetic pool has led the Mao on reprehensible street parades in Mao cities like Stadskanaal and Vredefort, wearing wooden clogs on their feet and little green tassels on their hats. You know them by the names of their nation states: the Oranese, the Gotwaldians, and the Königsteiners. My people simply call them Mao.
Mahoon is a derogative term for first world people of Gotwaldian descent. They do not all have eczema. Also, people of Katla, like the Suduru and the Huhu, are much more lactose intolerant. In some municipalities of Oranje, people do wear shoes made of wood to street parades. Green, orange, and even yellow tassels have also been seen on hats.
The Maun are proof that you can have too much Occidental racial purity and tassel-centric culture. Inbreeding has led to a lactose-intolerant subrace whom no one can take seriously.
Colorful tassels are, let's be honest, not a good sartorial choice for this century. You might want to avoid wooden clogs too.
The Vespertines and Messenians of Vesper and Messina, the ancient Meteorans of Meteo by the golden Pisantic Sea, the Suren of Sur-la-Clé, and even the North Königsteiners, all have type A race propensities. The other large Mondial civilization, the Mesk, are too yellow and oleaginous to count as a heroic race. True, they are violent and expansionist, but they have a glandular problem. Overproduction of sebum. Sebum is leaking into their brains, making them listen to El Mariachi music and eat toxic minced meat-based food, which in turn only produces more sebum. As proven by the Maun and the Mesk, Occidental type A is in retrograde. The Simonese and the Areopagite are on the ascent. The indigenous people of this, the Insulindian archipelago. The Simonese inhabit the southern islands. The Areopagites are the master race of the Ilmaran peasants. The Simonese are descendants of the Areopagites. We came here during a heroic migration from Ilmaran to Ansulan, thousands of years before the lactose-intolerant Maun Occidentals discovered this place. The Areopagites are sleek, long-headed. The Simonese are powerful, mesomorphic. The former is an immutable progenitor, unchanged since the Super Isola of Pericarnassus. Ancient brains rest in their slender skulls. The latter is perfected and adapting. Together they form the Simeno-Areopagite or Simeopagite super race. That is all. There are no more type A races in the world. Type B are the unheroic races, amorphous non-competitors of the great race. The Khoikos and the Vacholier, they are mud-colored people.
The Khoikos of Grad, Hugo, Zhimsk, Chest et al. Are what you would call white officer in a suspect description.
Yes. To an untrained eye, the Koiko appear white and pinkish, like a handsome witch. But look into their eyes and you will see. They are of an indistinct color, and so is their skin. Unhealthy, muddy, and ashen. Pinkness is a racial quality that has to be earned through centuries of advanced ballistic warfare and cultural domination that the Grad people have undergone for drinking al-rul and smoking the degenerate tobacco, and for eating potato. The Koiko, the countless micronationalities of Grad, are all inexplicably obsessed with that. The only thing they like more is divided into microscopic ethnostates, like political amoeba.
Wouldn't he be one for ethnostates?
They are microscopic. The Seminole Areopagite superstate will cover the entire remaining planetary crust, uninterrupted, from Holy Semenine to the Boreal Plateau of Katla. Its leaders will be the genetic epitome of the Simonese and Areopagite stock, elected by nature, not the Vacholians, halfway between Type A and the racial called Two makes to know right from wrong. You tried your degenerate little revolution, which was the single greatest failure committed by humans in our 82,000-year history on this planet.
Is it 82,000 years that we've been recording history? You have very little idea of what is happening, but that seems a little off.
The mysteries of the people of this planet are a tragedy that has played out countless times over. The revolution came to Ravachol from Grad in Zara's ridden potato carts. It is literally an illness. A prion disease that leaves the parietal and frontal lobe ridden with hope. The revolution is fatal familial insomnia. A hereditary prion condition passed from the Koiko to the Occidentals. But not enough of type mediocrity. Tips CF are a museum of failed
奇美拉实验
and tragic maladaptations. They are tortured creatures waiting to be put to sleep. Lesser races like the mosquito, a grotesque mixture of a masked woman and a Seminese man. Only possible if the mother is masked and the father Seminese. The other way around, they fail to produce offspring. The mosquito is born sterile, like a donkey. All they have left is to ride customized motor carriages with hydraulic suspension. Listening.
It seems unlikely that two human beings produce genetically sterile offspring.
对啊
You are right. You have misunderstood. Then there is the Simino Koiki Chimera. Are you sure you wish to know of the Simino Koiki Chimera? It is not an aesthetics. The Koiko, as you know, are very servile, especially when they meet the rich man. Racial scientists have toyed with the idea of crossing the Simonese with the Koiko to produce a super worker. This will never happen. The Simonese and the Koiko may have similar interbreeding problems as the mosquito. We will never know precisely.
三小
No Simonese man could maintain an erection in the suffocating potato stench of a Koiko woman or Koika. But enough. It is cruel to You understand nothing. To solve the great race enigma, you have to first ask yourself, what is the race enigma? You have not even worded the mystery. You need to internalize what you have heard here today. Then return to me. This clarity doesn't... I cannot possibly imagine what else we have to discuss, Tibere Masholian. Don't be vulgar. White or not has got little to do with this. The race enigma runs much deeper than Mr. Clare is a man of vision. Also, to serve is noble. It takes discipline. Your petulant individualism has only contributed to your race failure. It is lax and moronic. Jam, individualism. You have gotten these ideas from degenerate youth culture, have you not? Of course it does. You are a degenerate. I am not surprised you enjoy it so much. This has happened to many of the side products of the inevitable cultural victory of the Seminoles race. The South Island race. Haplogroup A. We are the future. I am a descendant. The narrow streets of Ulumbwir are with me. No. I have heard about it on the radio. I'm from Kuan. And no, it is not just in Revolution. You have heard enough about our phylogenetic secrets for today.
I don't think anything about it.
Your pedomorphic friend is right. Racists are generally...
Welcome to Revolution. You hear him yell at a redhead woman visiting the fritter nearby. He must think redheads are immigrants.
I am not like them. I am craniometric perfection.
原来侧卢先生是这样来的。
Trouble to permanently draw a phrenologic grid on my skull and features. This should dispel any doubt.
The drawings are precise and look true to their pseudo-scientific ambitions. One thing, however, it is not entirely free of throwbacks in the phylogenetic tree. His large jaw, for example, could be a trait indicative of criminalism. Also, his earlobes could be small.
The size of the earlobes is not a real craniometric.
Your earlobes are flawless, Jean.
Yes.
That atavistic stigmata makes pussy say yes, plenty.
Babe.
真小。
But I got this.
The man looks at you.
You are mad, Santiago. The unpromising.
等一下，我不能从这里出去吗？
Scab?
You're hazy on the notion of a scab. Smells like politics, though. Maybe it's got something to do with the flask he reaches for from time to time.
A kind of a worm, content with mere survival. They come, they want to do our job for shittier pay, screwing over both themselves and us.
原来是指偷走他们的工作的意思。
Beats me. Somewhere in the ground, I think. Gotta be bloody stupid, freaking evil to scab. Or I guess, personally, I'd rather beg than scab. If the gentleman shouting on the street came begging, maybe they'd have gotten something. Sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. These scabs ain't begging. They ain't holding on to their... I was just messing with you. Imagine, you cops going on a strike, But then another cop comes in and says, let us cop for less money. Speaking of, what brings the RCM here, to the Wild North? Come to see the strife? A key, huh? What door is this key supposed to open? Oh, say no more. I got that key right here. And let me tell you, it's mighty good of you to help us out during the strike. Working class solidarity, as they say. Polar weasel? Oh, I know what you mean. I'm pretty sure he's actually Occidental, though. So you're gonna be committing fratricide, my racist friend. What you're looking for is a basement door behind the greenhouse. That's behind the wailing in rags. That's all I know. Our organization is what you call compartment.
Okay, but where did you get the key from?
The janitor gave it to me. Nice fella. None of this mess we're in. This jiving and juggling. What's it for? To feed I'm more of a philosophical dock worker. I like to talk about the big picture stuff. Who I am, who you are.
He means he's not going to tell you, cause he doesn't know. But he will shoot his mouth off with you now that you're working for Evera.
The mercenary, eh? Who could have killed him?
The man whispers a jaunty.
We're negotiating our share. Aye. This stuff, they already covered. It's not enough. Not enough to get ahead. More about keeping us in our place. All of it. However, right now we want all the harbor workers to be on the company's board.
看所有的群众运动真的都是，这也是为什么那么反对群众运动了。
This seditious talk sounds like communism. Just so we're on the same page, communism is basically wanting to kill the rich people or deporting them to a labor camp in southeast Grand. But don't say that out loud if you're a communist.
No. I don't think I'm a communist. Seeing something of value and saying I want it all to myself is a much older and simpler notion. Not even a weak child can think it. The only things holding someone back are I can't and I shouldn't. Then how can anything ever be mine? But that's okay. We don't have to agree. The prairie is wide enough for all of us. I think it's best you make up your own mind now that you've met him. In my eyes, he is I guess you kind of get to be the village chief.
By that, you mean corruption?
By heavens, why would he not be corrupt? We live in a harsh and disordered world, see? And if the old man is corrupt for our benefit, and we know it, appreciate it even. He is, personally, not too lavish. He is reasonably lavish, sure. That's his prerogative. It's not like you want a saintly demeanor on a corrupt motherfucker. That would be a manipulative illusion. Besides, there are no non-corrupt systems in the world anyway. And moralism is the most corrupt of them all.
This man has political theory, and it has not failed him today.
Sure, I've had the necessary free time. Fortunately, there's always time.
The look in his brown eyes conjures up an understanding. For him, having command of his time is the most important thing. It all comes together now. The way he speaks about scabs, his general attitude. He's a follower of a 500-year-old Franco-Nigerian Boyadero code, itself an appropriation of Vespertine.
牛仔道
That of a noble peasant or a traveling herdsman. True to yourself, independent in your actions. No. No. The man sits on the railing, his hands reaching far and wide, yet it feels as if he could effortlessly.
所以我是从这里出来。
Bastards! We have a right to work! Hold up and stay frosty, everyone.
You here to fuck with us? Beat the honest worker down.
We're here to fight for a cause. Stripes usually have problems with people who have causes. Good. We're fighting for a cause here.
Right to...
Besides, we're not that different. It helps if people see us talking, cops and strikebreakers together. Shows authorities are on our side. Maybe you should ask them the questions, like why we're not allowed to make a living here. We have families to feed you.
So do we, Scott.
Honest men and women with rights to work, to be useful, not toys for corporate interests. We came here to help the harbor run smoothly in time of crisis. If union fucks don't want work, they ought to let in those who do want work.
I have a question. Why do all these men follow your leadership?
You think they follow because I'm big and loud? No. They follow the rules of the market, the rules of the economy, because they were
given a job to do!
We were promised work. We'd be in there, working, if the bastards had... Main gate's locked. Would take heavy ordnance to bust it open. Could try to get in through the second. And I don't mean the scrawny mess punk either. I mean head measurer. Or whatever he is. Yeah? That giant up there, on the bad. Standing on a narrow bridge, he's got a strategically advantageous... I don't know how the Union has a trained killer up there. But that one's no joke, and my men are tired and hungry. Why don't you go arrest?
It would be better for the neighborhood if you went home, at least for now.
No! They will give up eventually. Or get drunk. Leave the button undone.
所以我可以帮他度过侧炉咯。我们满地捡钱哎！他这么多的对话跟内容量，让我觉得有一点点没把握。我们3集的时间能够玩多少内容
You see several packaged raincoats fill a low shelf, and the packages are small, discreet, sloppily stacked, making them easier to take unnoticed. No need to worry about knocking over a display.
What is what? If you want to buy one, then it's only 4 real.
Her attention is drawn to the raincoats. Stealing one undetected will now be more difficult.
靠背啊！询问这是什么，反而变得更难了。不能偷了，而且我为什么要偷羽翼？
A small cabinet on the
这明明是面包架啊，为什么里面是羽翼？靠
！Nasal spray. Their logo is the bloodless rose.
Just ask me if you need anything from St. Baptiste. We don't stock prescription meds, but we do have Nosafed, Duramine, Magnesium, and Hypnogamma. I don't know. Let's see. Nosafed is a nasal spray. I don't really know what Hypnogamma is. I guess it makes you feel less shit. It's recommended to use after lots of partying, studying, or exercising. No, sorry. I'm not St. Baptiste. You know, St. Baptiste Pharmaceutical.
She is right. Saint Baptiste, the company.
Yeah, there's like an ampule somewhere. Okay, don't like.
所以这样我可以把尸体放下来。
stands in the corner. A sign says 1 bottle equals.
Oh, that's the tear machine. It's a machine for tear. You know, you find tear outside, like, you need a bag, I guess. Feel free to use it if you find a bag, though. I'm sure there are some.
那外面找到 袋子装回收瓶，空瓶回来。
A colourful display of cigarettes and the bottles wink at you in the light. The smokes too, there, in that dark green glass, all in vain. The great flowing river of warmth, wine, alcohol, beer, alcohol, love, alcohol.
Sure. If you want something, I can get it for you. Just let me know But I'm obliged to inform you that both alcohol and cigarettes damage your health. But I guess you already know that. The pale aged vodka is special, I guess. It's, you know. I mean, I already said it'd hurt you. I don't know what else they do. No, Frick only sells legal drugs, like the law says.
成年伏特加未解锁。
Welcome to Frick. Feel free to look around or something. Everything is out.
What's that magazine she's reading?
You mean this?
Oh.
This is Pop Stars. It's got, like, famous people in it. It's not for sale.
Looks like it also has something called Police de la Mode. Featured on page 24. This speaks to you.
这是智障吗？
It's where they rate different outfits famous people wear. It's kind of funny. They're kind of mean. It's about who's the most stylish.
"我觉得我选这个要被扣士气耶。
No, I don't think so.
We are not the fashion police. We're the real police.
Okay. I'm not really supposed to be chatting to anyone, but... wow. I didn't know you worked for the union, sir. Anything else I can do for you?
No, you don't work for the union. The union works for you by supplying you with cash. That was easy, worryingly so.
I don't really know anything. I mean, I know it's there, but I haven't seen it, so...
忧郁的流行歌曲可以拿去唱，哪里有忧郁的流行歌曲可以拿来唱？
Not really. No. I didn't know him at all. I don't know, really long.
No need to worry. It's just standard procedure for us to ask her.
Okay. Reality.
She is like a student unexpectedly called upon by a teacher.
I don't really know anything. I mean, I'm 15. Yeah, that's why I'm working my arse off in Frick. So I guess, like, that's economic. I don't know. What about we're in Frick? As mankind, or as a nation, or...
What will her essay prompt be?
We're in a transition. You know, transitioning from monarchy to democracy. When ordinary people take over the government and, yeah, it happened like 50 years ago or so. Our government? Or do you mean something else? I don't know.
The clock shows the time at 10:09.
坏掉了。
Seem to be still. It's
cool.
太好了。
Guillaume Le Million. Bad news. Guillaume Le Million did not become a cop. In 38, he went on a tour to the Xinjiang province in Safrey, where he died of autoerotic asphyxiation. His body was found hanging from a decorative dragon tree. in his junior
会性自习死亡，靠背。
unwholesome objects, and the Sylvia Trainer single, Wonderland, skipping in the background. And yes, you can take this as a metaphor for Revachol in the 30s, and also as a warning.
所有心智的学习上限提升1加1至坚韧不拔，所以这还会解锁，技能哎！我靠！在研究的期间还会扣我的故弄玄虚1级，所以这要装备的，靠！这个要装备的，靠腰啦！我以为是研究完就会有新的格子，让我可以再研究别的东西。哇，没差啦，第一次玩我们全部都研究了，它有什么我研究什么。截至目前的游戏体验是还不错的，不过游戏的文本这么大，翻译品质还要这么好，我觉得真的是不容易啊。它还是有一些犯错的地方，但都是小错误，我觉得没有到整体太影响游戏体验了。那搭档在旁边好像没有，目前还没有什么太显著的影响跟功能，除了一些绑定一定要他在才会说或是做的事情，不然其实我觉得蛮可惜的，没有特别感觉到他有提供太多协助，或是有什么互动。今天就先玩到这边，之后再接续这个进度继续玩。等一下应该是要先跑回去这个旅店里面了，我们先回去看那个后面的限时解锁的这个厨房的部分到底有什么东西。那感谢各位的收看，我们下礼拜再见喽，晚安。